Freedom, I never had the chance to run. Leave behind the said and done. Figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something more. So I think I found a new way out, way beyond a shadow of doubt. 'Cause I can't breathe, and I guess I could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But I'm doing this for me. Give it up, baby, I'm not fooling anyone. Always going on and on. Can't you keep it to yourself for once? Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow of doubt. And I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me.
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. Not to go out of my mind. And all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can
decay more slowly than stationary particles. As strange and counterintuitive as it seems, time dilation is a law of nature.
feet. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Come on, get loose with the heat. Right now, we go party till we black out. So get the fuck up.
had the chance to run, leave behind the said and done, figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something. 'cause I can't breathe. And I guess I could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But I'm doing this for me. Give it up, baby, I'm not fooling anyone. Always going on and on.
Right, we're going to go live.
Yep.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport here for the GT3 penultimate round at Dubai for the Pro Series. And as you would have just seen quickly there on screen, we have a returning face. Obviously, he's registered for Season 3, pulled out earlier in the season, but he's back for tonight. Will he be back for next week as well? It's Mazda 917 in the Simplay Racing BMW. Disco has a teammate tonight. What can Mazda do? A few weeks or months out, being a bit rusty, what can he do? But we are here, we are live in the night time of Dubai like we was last night for the Pro-Am. 8 drivers then, we have 10 tonight and a few more on the way, hopefully little each. Jamie Brazier, who's currently having his tea at the moment, and not heard from Monkey Boy. No, though, the big news tonight is no Gary 131. As much as Unorthodox doesn't believe that, no Gary 131 tonight. So we'll have to see what happens in terms of the championship, which, if results go Dan's way, can be won tonight. I'm Matthew Duffin, your commentator, as always, on a Thursday night. And I'm joined in my commentary box, well, I say my commentary box, our commentary box. It's sweet and sticky. It's Kelly Davis with us, as always.
Hello, mate. I'm glad you said our commentary box because I've been here all season, so
Yeah.
I feel like it's ours.
Yeah, it is ours, isn't it? It's not right, Tommy.
Yeah, it is, mate.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're a team, man.
Yeah, we are. I tell you what, we'll come up with a name for everybody. We're Sweet and Sticky. Then we got Sweet and Thicky, which is me and Liam, and Sweet and Laggy, which is me and Jamie on a Friday night. So you know, we've got all the names here. Not Thicky for that reason. Thicky because of his. Thicky because of what Liam comes out with at times. And I know people are going to think that sounds wrong, but. Thick in the head, I'm on about. Thick in the head for all the people who are.
You're digging a hole, mate. You're digging a hole even further. And me and Hayley are wanting ourselves here.
How are you, Kelly?
Sweet and oh, excuse me, while I mute my mic a minute.
Well, Kelly has a good laugh about that. Well, we're here at Dubai tonight. We're here. We've got some great racing for you all to see. 10 drivers on the track. We're hoping for a few more later on. And what we have as well is the 20-minute practice session right now, followed by the 10-minute qualifying session. We've got Fury's granddad, Tony, Michael Matthews, aka Peaceful Explosion, Kelly Davis, and Disco McDisco Face, all in the party. That is Little Each we've got into the session. So Little Each is with us. Nice to see Craig join us. I'm going to run you through the championship order while we wait for Kelly to just
I'm good. I'm back. I've got control of it. Yeah,
let's go through the championship standings. Unorthodox leads the way, 25 points ahead of Gary 131, but as we know, no Gary 131 tonight. D Biggs then third place, 42 points behind his teammate. Is that now the team battle done? And is Dan going to be the lead driver in these last 2 races? Big Boy Bracy then, can he eat his dinner and get on before race 1 starts? He's still mathematically in with a chance of winning this title. Little Each as well can win the title, but that one is a long shot. 98 points behind with 104 points up for grabs. Peaceful Explosion then is in 6th place, 10 points clear of his teammate, with Disco McDisco facing P8. Rabbit Joe P9, but he's unavailable for this one. I knew he was unavailable for this week. This week should have been the finale at Monza, but obviously due to a football match a few weeks ago, we postponed, obviously, are a week behind. Sooty Apex N comes in P10, with Emo Guy in P11, who's obviously had PS4 problems and not been able to get that sorted for the rest of the season. Andy in P12 with that Bozzy Boy P13. Phil in P14, Walshy P15, and then you've got Keegs in P16 with Mazda in P17 this season. Then and he's back on the track, Kelly, and in the BMW, obviously, as the team Simplay Racing are as their bottom of the constructors, but it's good to see a familiar face back out on the track.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we got plenty to talk about tonight. Not only are we in for some really good racing, but there is some characteristics to this track which makes it a little bit more tricky than normal.
Indeed, they do. The Constructors' title is Shake and Bake leads away by 81 points from the Leachy Legends. That title as well can be wrapped up tonight. Ironbury Racing are then third, with GQ Motorsport 4th, Class of 97 5th, Straight Line Racing 6th, Run Flat Racing 7th, and Simplay Racing down in P8 tonight. As that Buzzy Boy, look at that for a practice time. That's not a bad lap.
Oh, yeah. That's not a bad lap at all, is it?
Some serious pace from Liam early doors.
Indeed, indeed. Let's see if he can continue that. So I think it's a little bit more of a level playing field tonight.
Yes.
Up and down the board, because Dubai has certainly thrown up some interesting scenarios. Cracking race last night. I thoroughly enjoyed last night's race. I mean, I was a fan of this track to start with. It's not a great favourite with a lot of the drivers, but the buzzword this evening is going to be tyres.
Yes, and this is what me and Jamie were saying last night about. Tyres will win you this race, and I've said it all week, and I said it last night. I'll say it again now. I don't think qualifying's that important around here.
No.
I think it's your tyre management that can win or lose you this race.
Absolutely, and it's extremely hard on tyres, this one. Now, all these guys mostly should be running the hard tyres. We're in Dubai, which is warm, and this track is really, really abrasive. So they'll all be running the hard tyres, right? And you can burn these hard tyres out in a lap and a half round here, or you certainly can in the Porsche. And I think the Merc is worse. I don't know about the Beamer or the Audi, but the tyres suffer. Sector 1 is particularly hard on the tyres. So it's going to be about tyre management tonight. And as you said, it's those who keep their tyres in good shape are the ones that are going to do well, are going to have pace all the way round. So I think it levels things out a little bit. We could see the likes of Liam with a podium tonight, if not a win, on this one.
It does, and do you know the car that, and we've said this all season, but seriously tonight, that Ginetta and Acura, with them being that bit slower and not as aggressive on their tyres, have a real opportunity here tonight. Now, as we found out last week or the week before, Phil has ran majority of this season, so you just cut on board to him, just as I was about to say his name. Brilliant. This is why the chemistry's too good.
That's why we're a team, man, isn't it? Absolutely.
Sweet and sticky.
Not sweet and sticky.
Let's not go there again. Phil has ran the season on soft tyres, bar the wet races, so he has done a stellar job to have good pace. And let's not forget, Phil's had some 4th and 5th places this year in that Acura, so he's done a mega job in that car. This in the Ginetta tonight, maybe the BMW as well, actually, looking at the two BMWs on the track, could be really good on their tyres. And that is the key around here, is this tyre management that we're saying. This could be a track where we could see maybe the first Acura podium, and how nice that would be. One thing that I'm really interested at, looking at the timing screens at the moment, I know we're 8.5 minutes in, is that Buzzy Boy is only 6/10 off the back of Dan.
Yeah.
That is some good pace from Liam at this moment in time.
That's a cracking good pace indeed, but again, you know, it's going to be about the tyre management, but as I said, it's going to even things out a little bit. It's not a track, as I said, I don't think it's a driver favourite by a long shot. So a lot of these guys don't drive this regularly. So it's also going to be about who knows the track and who learns quickly.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that's also going to be a factor. So,
another thing I will say, Kelly, is the drivers may be more thankful that this isn't the night. Could you imagine Dubai in the middle of the day as we normally run? That would be soaring temperatures, and you possibly would see a tyre change, if not a 2-stop at one stage. But they're more thankful that it's the night, the fact that the temperature is that bit cooler, so they can sort of get to grips with it. Because if, like you say, if they're not used to the track, they've got to learn the track and learn the tyres at the same time.
Absolutely. So lots of factors to key into putting a good result together tonight. So we'll see who can do it.
Indeed.
And at the moment, as you say, Liam is. I mean, Dan's gone quicker.
Yeah.
Dan's now a second clear of Liam, which is quite impressive from Daniel anyway. And we'll see where D Biggs, Little Leach, and well, if Jamie can finish his fish fingers, then he can. We'll see where he is as well. Because if Liam's doing that kind of pace, then
yes,
you can know that that Jamie would be, with no disrespect to Liam whatsoever, we would be in front of that.
If Liam's doing that, what's Jamie doing, sort of thing. Liam, though, is a second down on Dan, but 8/10 ahead of Disco McDisco Face so far in the qualifying session. Then the three cars, Disco, Peaceful and Andy, all separated by a couple of hundredths, if not thousands, between Peaceful and Disco. Then you've got Mazda in his BMW down in P6. D Biggs is currently 7th, Sutty 8th, Lil Each 9th, Phil 10th and Welshie 11th. As we say, evening to Fury, the Pro-Am champion. Next week should be interesting, he says, and Daniel Francis as well. Just a reminder, we are watching the track limits around here. Obviously, Daniel Francis, one of the pro stewards for the pro footage, and unlike the Pro-Am last night, who had the track limits on based off of what happened in the Pro-Am at Le Mans, what Daniel says is right here. Track limits are off for these pro guys as they was at Le Mans, and track limits will be monitored, especially on the stream.
The curbs. There's a few places that you can run wide. If you have the opportunity, and as you said, track limits were on for Pro-Am last night, so we didn't get the opportunity. But out of the last, the penultimate corner is quite easy to run wide. At the top of the first sector is quite easy to run wide, or just out of the double right-hander. When we do a lap, I'll say what I mean. Other than that, the entry curves or the apex curves are really quite high, and it does you no favours by getting up on top of them, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. As Andy has popped at a time just a 10.5 off the back of an Autodrome. So good lap from Andy. We know Andy's got some great one-lap pace at times. He's had this trouble of getting that Ginetta together in a race, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. We all know Andy from old. He's quick. He's been racing with one hand behind his back with this Ginetta, really. But on a one-lap pace, he can usually turn out a very good lap. And to be just a 10.5 off Dan, who's in the Porsche, is that's really quite impressive.
It is indeed at the minute. And so Liam drops down to P3, but still though, we have to take our hats off to Liam, the only man in the 57s, because the two in front are in the 56s, and everybody behind are a couple of tenths off that 57ers. Here's the returning face then of Mazda. Currently P6, not raced for a while. He was telling us before we came on air he's a little bit rusty, and 158.7. I mean, it's not a bad time, but I'm sure he'd have liked to be up there a little bit closer to the other guys.
Well, yes, it's. I'll just turn around and say that I was achieving 158 in practice, so Mazda's better than that. Do you know what I mean? But as you say, he's rusty, doesn't really know the track, so and this is a practice session. Do you know what I mean? He may not be...
this is what he's got the 20 minutes to do at the moment, is just to get them laps in and get the practice there, and we may see him in qualifying have a different animal underneath him. But I mean, just based off of what we're seeing at the minute, he's giving it some through these corners and doesn't look like he's lost a lot of it. I mean, the racecraft's still there, whether that pace, like you say, learning the track, tweaking the setup. D-Biggs and Little Each at the minute are a bit of a shock to me tonight, though, so far. 7th and 9th currently. Again, practice session. Are we going to see a bit more from them as they go forward? What's the situation going to be with them guys? But at the minute, not running where we expect to see them. And is D-Biggs playing that rear gunner for Dan? I mean, Dan at the minute, his other two big title rivals aren't here. So D-Biggs doesn't need to be that rear gunner. He can probably have his own free race. But I mean, a free race from 7th is a tricky old run for him as Little Each here.
Yeah, going deep. Look out, track limits.
Struggling in that Porsche looks to be at the minute, just looks a bit loose.
I tell you what, Matt, I jumped on earlier in the week at my first kind of spins round here, and I downloaded a setup off a well-known site that a lot of people use for setups, and I tell you what, I couldn't do better than a 202 in that.
Now question for you, because a little birdie has told me that you came on for a bit of testing earlier this week and loaded up the wrong circuit.
Well, yes, that's because a little commentator made a little bit of an error at the end of last week's race and said, join us next week for Dubai International. And I went, I quite like the GP track. So I did a little bit of practice on the international, and then I hooked up with Dan at the weekend because he we did an event together, and he said, "What sort of lap times you doing?" I said, "Yeah, I'm in the 135s," and he's like, "What? 135?" He said, "What track are you going round?" I said, "The international." He said, No, it's GP. I'm like, oh, right, okay. But as it happens, I prefer the GP to the international anyway.
There we go. That I thought that just the track was called Dubai International before you got then to your separate layouts.
Yeah.
I thought that was just the track name. It's not. It's Dubai Autodrome.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and
as
then
Little Leach
that
goes
made
into
me wrong. So
then that made you wrong. Yeah, I blame Liam.
Yeah,
there we go. Enough said. Yeah. Enough said at the moment then about that one as Little Leach into the pits. Well, she's improved from P11 ahead of Little Leach and Phil at the moment into P9, and spoke with Welshie previously last week. He says, I want to stay in the pro, I want to learn, I want to adapt my racecraft. I can't wait to be back in the Pro-Am, though, he said. I can't wait to be in the Pro-Am. I can't wait to be back in my Lamborghini, he said. He says, I miss my Lamborghini.
Okay. Just finishing off what I was saying there just beforehand, one of my early practice on the GP track, as I said, I downloaded a setup, couldn't do better than a 202. Then I had a chat to Dan and took Dan's setup, and immediately, first lap out, put a 2 minute. And then, my very best laps, I did a couple of 58, mid 58s. In that, which I was reasonably pleased with, but setup is still important. Is Little Leach just sandbagging a bit, or is the setup not working for him?
Well, based off what he's just put in the chat, no practice and half quarter here after celebrating, would say that he's had maybe one or two. Don't drink and drive, kids, but one or two after celebrating. Obviously, some good news. As Peaceful Stepdad says, good evening, everyone, as well. So maybe the no practice.
What news is that? What is the news? We can't all celebrate if we don't know. I know,
but I don't know if.
Well, let Leachy tell us.
Yeah, well, we'll see if Monkey Boy's in the sessions. That's good to see. 12 drivers on track.
Yep.
We'll see if he does say brilliant, and we can all celebrate. I know the news, but obviously it's not for. He's not said anything to me in terms of on the stream sort of stuff. So I'll leave it for him to either text me or post.
Right. Okay. Well, Leachy, we need to know. Can Matt tell us, or handy, that was a bit of a wiggle, or put it up on the chat, something like that. If you're half cut and celebrating, let's know what you're celebrating, and then we can all get half cut. And again, important message: don't drink and drive out there, kids. You may spill it.
Oh dear! And if you're going to buy it from Kelly's Jimbo.
Absolutely, and buy one for me as well. While you're there, let's all get one in. Anyway,
not a sponsor yet.
Yet. Different company, but yeah, one day someone from Simplay will talk to me about it.
Yes, I need to actually have a chat with you about it.
Apparently so. Yeah,
I'll probably just give you an important video call. I'll put my suit on and make it look all business-like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That'd be cool.
By my suit, I mean my Honda top, Honda jacket, Honda hat. Yeah.
Well, that's certainly put me off already, hasn't it? And again, hang on. Let's just have a little. I'll pick a little bone with you. Plato-esque last night. Plato-esque.
Yes, you said you was going to have me last night.
I haven't forgotten you. I haven't forgotten you, Duffin. Don't you worry about that.
Look, I saw what you did to BT Targa and Daniel Francis. We're not going to go. We're not going to go into the finer details because obviously there are things under review at the moment. But I saw what you was doing last night, and I'd be damned if that wasn't Plato-esque.
Well, I got Matt Nealed by one of them. Again,
there we go.
Go too much into it.
Okay. You watch yourself with Matt Neal in there. He has said, Baby Leach on the way. There you go. Haha. There we go then. So congratulations to Little Leach on the announcement of...
having a Little Leach.
There's going to be a little Leach on the way.
Little Leach.
Yeah.
Oh,
so there we go then.
Well done,
congratulations to Craig and
absolutely. When did he have time to do that?
Well, busy man is Craig, but skills.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
Well done. It was obviously 2 minutes well spent. Well done, mate.
Congratulations though to you and the partner, the wife, the girlfriend, on the brilliant news. Yeah, the Mrs. Leach. The Mrs. Leach, the Little Leach, and the Little Leach. Congratulations on that one. As Kieran Argent's also in the chat. And is that why there's no Gary drunk too much? No, Gary's at a race event on his speedway stuff that Gary does. So that's where Gary is tonight. Nice to have you back, Master, says Peaceful Stepdad.
No drink for Mrs. Leach, mind. She can't have one. No, she's on strict rules now.
She's on the orange juice.
Absolutely. I'm going to jump on with D Biggs for a lap.
Go for it.
So we're going down the start straight, Dubai Autodrome. I like this track. It was FIA sanctioned, this one, 3 and a bit miles, quite a long lap. Downhill into turn 1. I was in 3rd gear, as is D Biggs. Accelerate. This is the hard section. Watch that curb. It'll unsettle the car. Look over to the cones. Pick up the apex in your eye view. Take off the throttle just slightly. Back on it again as you pick up the apex. Left-hander, stay off the curb. You can run a bit of curb into this one, but not too much. Don't let it run out wide. This is a tricky one, not for doing track limits. Pull it right into the apex, unlike what D Biggs did there, and try and stay off the curb. Double apex for the next one before you get on the straight. Very important that you line this up right. You can go out wide, pull it in tight, drop right into the depths of the apex, and then nail it on the way out. Run the curb slightly as you go down the back straight, moving slightly towards the left-hand side as you take the path of least resistance as you go towards the next corner, which is a hairpin right. Hit the brakes now, down a few gears. Come out late, pull up, and go for the apex nice and late. Fantastically done. Come across the track again and back to the left. Tuck into the apex, but don't run wide. They're very easy to run out on the right-hand side. Coming back over to the left again for another uphill right-hander. Again, late apex it. Come out wide, late apex, run out to the left-hand side. A little bit of a twitch there, but no harm done. Pull across to the right-hand side of the track. That one's a left-hander. This is absolutely flat scat through here. And it's going to be another uphill braking zone. Brake on the 50-metre board, down a couple of gears. The apex almost goes out of sight like it does now. Pull it back in because it's a late one and it's tight on the way up. And up round the right-hander, another one very easy to run wide on the left-hand side. Pit entry on the left, there's a 180-degree turn. Last corner is 90 right. And again, late apex, pick it up, run out to the outside and give it flat scat down the straight. And if you're good, you'll be in the 56s.
Which D Biggs wasn't. Only a 59.3 was his best, as Jamie has just got in the session in time for qualifying then.
Ideal.
As Disco Medisco Face improved his time 2 thousandths slower than that Bozzy boy in the end. But we are just waiting these final few laps to come in from these drivers.
We just got a glance of Peaceful losing it, and he went back into the pits. So Phil running around in the... I'm still way off the pace in that Acura, but again, this is just practice. Just practice.
Yeah. And like we've said, Kelly, we said earlier, I don't think the one-lap pace is anything. It's not
the point tonight, for sure.
Yeah, it's not. The Acura's not at a disadvantage because it's slow. There's no grass here to cut, so the Acura's going to be, looking for it. It is going to be a case of, if them tyres last on that car, Phil and Sutty could be in for a good result as Jamie Brazier gets himself, or is going to get himself into the session just at the end, so gets himself in at the right time. Dan, though, setting the pace in practice and is possibly the pro champion to be. He's already the GT5 champion. I'll be waiting on the pro champion to go. We are waiting for somebody to press press ready up, as I don't have that button in front of me, so I had to back out to get invites out. And here we go then. We are now live, ready for the qualifying session. Little Each said to you 2 minutes 30 seconds it took him. Not 2 minutes. Yeah. And he said in the chat, any setup advice? You're the Porsche driver, not me.
Who said that?
Little Each.
Little Each is asking me for setup advice. Be careful on your tyres. Patience. The way I run it last night, I mean, this is a race, isn't it? The way I run this one last night is I went out on the hard tyres. I went out straight away. I was as quick as I could get out the pits. I was out. I did a warm-up lap, nice and slow, and then did a 80% lap. Yeah, and then I went out and nailed the third one. So I got the tyres right into the window, get the pressures up, and then nailed it. Too many spins, too many off-track excursions is going to ruin these tyres, and then you've got to get them back in the window. So get them warmed up, then nail it. If you can, then back off one after they've had a heat cycle, and then go again. was just my experience.
Too many problems.
What did I do? Quali, third in quali last night. I think I was 59 in quali, I think.
Too many problems. You'll be like Kieran Argent, who only just got 2 laps on the board, and after what looked a good practice pace, put him well down in 6th for Q1. So you want to make sure you're out there, because 2 minute a lap and 10-minute session, you know, just over a 2 minute a lap, should I say, is an out lap because of the fact you've got to get out the pits. It's not what you want to be doing. As everybody bar Sutty is out on track, so this is going to lose. Sutty's already lost the best part of near enough his out lap here, and this is costing him heavily. If he's waiting for a space, that one's gone because everybody's coming towards the back end of the circuit. What is this boy going to do then on his return tonight? We are going to be interesting to see. The timing screen is up on my phone, so I'll be able to see the purple sectors fly in. Now then, Dan quickest in practice, but Jamie's here for the quali. Who's your money on for the pole position, Kelly?
Dan.
Your money's on Dan. Going
for
to
the pole
Dan.
position.
2 pole positions this season, an average of P4 in qualifying 1 for an Autodubs. And I know you love a stat. Missed them last week. I thought I'd get them straight in this week before times are being set. Big boy Brazier, 6 pole positions to his name. The first boy this season to get back to back. Sorry, no, he's not. Fury did that in round at Hockenheim. The first boy in the Pro this season to get pole in both race 1 and race 2 of the same track due to his disconnection problems. But he has 6 pole positions. He averages P2 in qualifying 1, the best average in Q1 of anybody. So let's see what Jamie can do then, as Sutty is now finally out the pits. Anybody else you'd like to know a rough qualifying pace of?
D Biggs.
D Biggs, he averages P4 as well as Dan. No pole positions to his name, but the same average. I think Dan's average was ruined because he had a qualifying ban, if you remember, back at Hockenheim. After his incident with Keegs at Daytona. So, interesting to see what he can do as he goes along.
Yes, indeed. As we're on board with Jamie Brazier, may have one of his records tumbled by Fury next week. Fury's now done 12 wins in a season. 12
wins in a season. Equal to Jamie Brazier's.
Equaling Jamie Brazier's record of 12 wins in a season. Jamie on a bit of a lag there as well, I think.
Could have done it last night, but if Argent's still watching, could have done it last night, couldn't he, Argent?
But Argent dive bombed him right at the last minute, didn't he?
So he said.
I was still busy trying to make up places at that point, but I wasn't really. I really focused on who won race 2 until later in the evening. I kind of went, who won race 2 then? You know, and then I kind of looked back on it, and I tend to watch the streams back. This is painful to watch. I've got to move off this.
Yeah, this is a bit painful to watch. Is at the minute my phone is up and down as people are going through the sectors at the minute. Dan in a 56.4 straight away, and Andy a 56.7. So not a bad banker lap for them two already. Disco in a 57.2. So that's a good lap from him. That'll be a bit quicker than his practice pace. Big boy Brazier then beats that one, but 7/10 off the back of an auto and goes straight back to the pit. So that's not what he'd have wanted. Maybe going for a fresher set of tyres, pushing the outlap a bit harder. Peaceful in the pits, not yet set a time. D-Biggs goes 6th. Sutty's back in the pits, not yet set a lap time either.
Yes, indeed. As I said, I got my money on Dan to put this one on pole. I think Dan has got exactly the right attitude about this track. And he was giving me some pointers for last night. And everything he said was quite right. The patience on the tyres, the warm-up of the tyres. Do you know what I mean? So I think he's got the attitude exactly right for this. I mean, you know, it's very easy to have patience. And my first couple of laps, if you get an opportunity, go back and watch the Pro-Am racing from last night, because I thought it was really cracking good racing. And I had a little bit of an incident with that with BT in the first lap. And I then overdrove the car for a couple of laps and was just making silly mistakes. And it's very easy once the red mist is down that you get in that zone, don't you, where you push because you want to hurry up and make back what you've lost. And it just doesn't pay you off. You have to be patient. Let's hope Dan can stay that way.
Dan's just gone purple in the middle sector, just to say, Kelly, he's just crossed the timing screen there.
Dan using all the track was 50-50 across the white line. He's going to go deep on that one, and he's backed out.
He's backed out to that one.
He's
Then does
back.
not improve at all there. Liam up into P5, so that's in the pits at the moment. He'll want to get out to get one more run in. Master's up in 6th place with D-Big 7th, Little Each 8th, Welsh Unite, Phil 10th, Monkey Boy 11th, but Peaceful and Sutty. Peaceful's only just got back out the pit lane then, as Disco and Andy and Liam still in the pit, so they done quite content with qualifying, but at the minute, Peaceful's only just come out the pits to do a lap. Sutty as well still hasn't got a lap on the board, and Little Each, according to my phone, purple in Sector 1, green Sector 2, so what can he do coming through this 3rd sector, and let's see what he can do.
Yes, let's see what he can do. If he puts this up high, then I'll. He's obviously taken my advice.
He goes 1.1 seconds quicker, and it only keeps him P8. Yeah, he's only down on the 2-minute marker, still 1.5 off the back of D-Biggs in front of him, as that is Mercedes of Monkey Boy coming out the pits, and Mazda, that Blazzy Boy, Disco and Andy still in the pits. If they want to get a lap in, they need to be coming out the pit lane now. That is Andy, that is the BMW of Mazda. So Disco and Liam, are they quite content with their qualifying pace and leaving it in the pit lane then? Because there is no movement from that Bozzy Boy, and you have to say he's got to get out within these next couple of seconds to get a lap in.
Yep. Don't look like they're going to.
No. So Liam there then, and Disco not coming out for another run. They're still stationary in the pitch. You see the 2 white dots at the track parked up. That is them. 2 Peaceful and Sutty still don't have a lap on the board. Now surely Sutty's coming to the end of a flying lap. He's... where is Sutty on track? He's not gone through Sector 1 yet, according to my phone. I am trying to keep an eye on it, as there he is, look. He's back to the pits. Sutty,
that's that. He's going to start from the back.
Sutty's going to start from the back. He's not going to get a lap in, so Sutty then will not be qualified. Will not get a qualifying lap in this race. What a shame for Sutty then. But 13th place, that ruined that. Well, it ruins his average down from 9th to 10th, an average of Q1. Peaceful's the other one who's got to set a lap time, but isn't yet. That Bozzy Boy's come out the pits. I think that's too late. Sutty and Disco are still in.
It is too late.
Yeah, it's way too late. Peaceful now, just behind Unorthodox here, has got to get this lap right to get a lap on the board, otherwise he'll be starting P12. On board with Dan though, what can he do at the moment? No improvement just yet.
Incidentally, I mean, he had a very slow last lap, so I reckon he's just cooled the tyres for a lap.
He went wide, didn't he, the lap before? So I wonder if he backed out the whole lap.
Wide.
Yeah,
but I reckon he probably, when he went wide, probably thought to himself, I'll have a cool-down lap to cool the tyres and go again. So, I mean, he's going to get another lap after... I don't know if he will, actually, get another lap after this one.
I think this is going to be it.
So, this is going to be his best effort. So we'll see what he can do.
Big Boy Brazier, purple in the middle sector at the minute. As Dan improves his Sector 1 time. It's not purple, but Big Boy Brazier was purple in Sector 2. He's about to cross the line here and improves and goes pole by 0.2 of a second. Just nabbing it away from Dan. So Dan's got to do something special now. What a lap from Big Boy Brazier there then. Bit of a wiggle there for Dan. He's not going to get that one done. And he's very wide there. That is that one done. Yeah, Dan backs out of it. And that has gave Jamie the upper hand in this title fight. Can Andy gain the couple of tenths he needs to?
Remember what we said about it's not about quali.
No, this is true. But the advantage, isn't it? It's that psychological mentality going into the race of just being pipped at the last minute. As Andy goes quickest of anyone in Sector 1.
It ain't over yet.
It ain't over yet.
Andy can do this.
Where's Liam on track? Did he manage to get past the line? Oh, no. Just a bit short. No. So Liam... just missed out on the qualifying run there. Monkey Boy in front of Andy here.
This could spoil Andy's lap. This really could.
I tell you what it could, though. It could help him with that Ginetta being a bit slower in the straight line. With there being a few straights around here, it could give him the toe.
He's holding him up now.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Is he coming up towards the Sector 2 timing line? What will the time be as he comes across? Green Sector 2, so I mean... he's not over and done.
He's going to pass him now. Yeah, he's got him past, but it puts him in the wrong position on track. He had to go down the inside of it. He's going to have to do something spectacular in the last sector, if you ask me. Monkey goes a bit wide. Easy to do it there. Very easy.
Andy then round the final corner. Is this going to be a front row? Oh, it's wide. So he should get out. He should get off of that one and back out of that. He goes pole.
It was quickest. He went quickest.
Yeah, 9,000ths of a second. So Andy then does take the pole position at the death. And that's going to demote Dan down to P3. Now, some may say that he should have got out of that one there as he ran so wide.
Yeah, track limits there,
yeah.
Matt, isn't it? He was well out of the track.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't close. He was well out the track.
Yeah, he was very, very wide and back out of it maybe. But what he's done is done. Andy then will take the pole, 9,000ths quicker than Jamie Brazier. Then it's Dan, 2/10 back. So what a fight we could have on our hands. Disco P4 for himself. Not a bad qualifying as that Bozzy boy then is in P5. D-Biggs 6th in the end. Not seen much of D-Biggs in qualifying, but quiet from him as Mazda then will qualify 7th on his return. We then have Peaceful Explosion, who did get a lap in and got it up to P8, thankfully, in the end. Little Each down in 9th, so not the qualifying he'd have wanted to get. Phil, though, P10. Oh, excuse me, P10 for Phil, as we know his teammate starts P13. Monkey Boy qualified in 11th place. He improved at the end as well, and Welshie will start P12. So, yeah, a few drivers there.
Yeah, got to be said. Liam in 5th. He's got some big names behind him. You know, D-Biggs, Mazda, Little Leach, you know, all those, you know, very much front runners, you know, and yeah, he's out-qualified all of them. So let's hope Liam can have a cracking good race, shall we?
Yeah, let's have a cracking good race, as well as Andy was saying, nothing gained through the last corner. So obviously he'll know he saw his delta. He'll know that he lost time on his own screen. To yeah. Daniel Francis ran some laps at Monza today with track limits on. Didn't flag me once, and I did take a lot of curb and push 2 wheels off at the last corner. So if on next week won't make a lot. If track limits are on for the Pro-Am next week, won't make a lot of difference to a normal lap. So I suppose from an admin side of things, because like I've seen their post earlier from Daniel saying that shame we couldn't have 2 wheels just running the curbs a bit more last night, but the game doesn't allow you to do it. It's good to know that Monza allows you to. I know that some tracks are different, aren't they? Like we know from Knock Hill, you can't take the touring car line at the Knock Hill at the chicane because it'll ping you.
What, you mean the touring car line where you just like jump over the the curb?
Hit that sausage curb and go 2 wheels and then land the thing as you hit the brakes into the next corner, because it'll ping you. You have to sort of take the chicane properly then. We'll get back to that in a moment though, as Team Prolapse are in the chat as well. Come on, Dan. It's lights out and away we go here for the first race tonight. Look at Liam get a good launch. Dan has to cover that one off immediately, and into the side of Disco he went. Was there anything come of that? No, but Disco very unhappy and gives Dan a bit of a flash. Liam keeping to his line as he put Dan under a bit of pressure early doors. Dan then up the inside of Andy, and that one side by side going into turn 1, and that's Liam and Disco and Little Each and Welshie all off, and Disco a huge flash of the lights, clearly disgruntled, and I think Mazda was involved as well, and that isn't great to see. But Liam, I'm not sure what happened to that first corner, but he ended up now P13, as he said. Good evening to Dean Wasocki as well as Nikki in the chat. And already here, guys, 18 viewers, 13 likes. Let's hit that thumbs up button. But already a few bits of strange driving off the line. Dan especially uncharacteristically sort of coming right across Disco.
Absolutely. All a bit of pushing and shoving for the pros, that one. All a bit messy for them. It happens sometimes, I suppose. But Jamie was the man who benefited. Dan up into second. Andy went back a place, or went back 2 places, should I say. But he's still there in third. D-Biggs, cracking start from him up into 4th place. Stayed out of all the carnage. And Disco seemed to be right in it as well, but he's still in 5th and on the back of these guys. So, it worked out for some, but not for others, really. Yeah, Liam, the biggest loser, as was Mazda. Look, they've dropped down the pack. Liam's battling with Welshie at the minute further down the pack. Their names keep chopping and changing down the order they go, but it's Dan, Big Boy Brazier. That's the fight at the moment. Now, what's Dan's strategy here? Does he push hard? Jamie can control this pace. And ultimately, Dan's got to work his tyres a bit harder to get past Jamie. Well, if Dan runs the race that he's talking, then he should be getting his tyres up for temperature and being patient. He's in a good position there. As a lot of them run wide on that last corner. Tut, 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 tut. We couldn't get away with that last night. And Dan giving a flash of the lights. So is he feeling racy at the end of race lap 1?
We'll have to wait and see if Dan is feeling racy or not. We'll have to keep our eyes on that one. Andy still third ahead of D Biggs. Disco still fifth. Clearly not a lot of damage if you're Disco McDisco face done to that car. But if you're that Bozzy Boy and Mazda, there may be some damage done, as Bozzy then is trying to keep up with the back of the Acoras. And here we go. He's looking racy, trying to get past Sutty Apex already here. But what he doesn't want to do is use them tyres too much. He's got Woshi and Mazda not far behind him. And for that Bozzy Boy at the moment, he's trying to attack the Acoras as well as stay ahead of Woshi and keep his tyres in good check. And we all know you use your tyres a bit more when you're attacking and defending. But Liam clearly just wants to get his places back that he's lost.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll keep on his progress. We keep cheering him on. He may have to be like peaceful and get some sort of grunt noise when we go on to him from now on, because we were just bigging him up at the beginning of the race and how well he did to qualify in 5th, and it's all gone terribly wrong. And he's in 11th and 15 seconds off the pace in the first lap, in the first 2 laps. So,
who's that? Oh, that's Lidley.
And that's taken Liam as well. Oh,
wow, that is a huge hit there. Little Leach and Phil both off of the circuit. Liam passed Sutty there as he got sort of punted across the corner. Not sure what happened there, but Little Leach and Phil just seen go into the wall. Huge damage on their cars. Liam as well got the brunt of Craig sort of bouncing off the wall straight into the side of Liam. That was crazy. Yeah. Just looking back at my second screen now, and we're on board with Liam, and just as the camera angle changes, you see, look, Phil and Sutty in the wall and bang across track, and Liam is there, has to take through the short. I mean, I'm surprised he's not gave Sutty the place back yet. We're on board Disco on the back of D Biggs for P3, P4 and 5, who's having a cracking scrap, but wow, that was a huge shunt in the wall.
Yes, indeed. We were on board with Disco. He was rubbing door handles with D Biggs. These pro guys are going for it tonight. There's lots of incidents, lots and lots.
Not sure what's happened to Sutty then, but he's lost out to Woshi and Mazda there. In the meantime, he obviously wasn't involved in that incident, but maybe a bit of a spin on his own behalf. Mazda still trying to follow Woshi as Phil and Little Leach in the pits. They've both got to pit again, then let's not forget, because they before the pit window of lap 5 here, as Disco, not used to seeing the 2 BMWs on track. Disco trying to get past D Biggs. Andy has got ahead of these guys. Andy's on the back of Daniel. In fact, I say Daniel on all.
Dan's obviously made a mistake.
Yeah, he must have done. Andy has the run. Look at this.
Yeah. Dan's just dropped that somewhere, because I was watching their times, and Dan was a second and a half in front of Andy. So Dan's had a little bit of an incident somewhere, which has left Andy to catch up. But this isn't over. Dan's up the inside. Where are they on track? Andy's got the inside line for the next corner. But there is a switchback available there. I know it because I did it.
There is, and they've got this good long run now where Dan should have the pace over Andy because of the difference in the cars down this straight line. But if Andy can keep it there, he will be up the inside again for the left-hander coming up, and indeed he does. Bit later on the brakes than Dan, and Dan just maybe a bit earlier to try and tuck back in for that switchback. Can't get it done. Andy again on the right side to get the right-hander now as they head towards the last corner, and this has allowed Jamie to just stretch his legs a little bit whilst keeping his tyres in check.
Yes, indeed. He gives him a breathing space for sure. As Dan all over the place. He's up on some corners and back, but just can't make the move stick. He's in the slip now. He's going to have a crack down this one, but again, he's on the outside. He's going to have to clear him before he gets to the braking zone. And has he got it done? Yes, he has. I think the Porsche Power just quicker than the Ginetta there, but Andy's not going to let him go very easily. That's for certain sure. Quick jump back to Disco, who's
Disco's got D-Biggs,
just got him on the straight. That would be the BMW Power over the Porsche. BMW being a quicker car in a straight line than Porsche.
And look who's in the background of them two as well. Peaceful trying to get on the back of D-Biggs and Disco at the moment. Mazda's got past Welchie and that Bozzy Boy, so up to P8 is Mazda, trying to hunt down Monkey Boy now. And is that Bozzy Boy waiting as they look? Little Each comes out the pitch just ahead of that Bozzy Boy, and I mean, his car will be fixed, not visually, but it will be fixed on his screen.
Look at the state of it.
Yeah, you've always said the Porsche is a horrible car when broken.
It is. It looks like a very ugly Micra, and a Micra's ugly enough on its own.
Now, question here for you, Kelly: is Liam waiting to the pit window to get in the pits and repair that damage that we assume he may have on that car off that big shunt?
Well, he was hitting the side, and I don't know how much damage he's going to have. He was hitting the side, although it did lift the car off the ground.
Yeah.
And D Biggs has got back in front of Disco. Disco made a mistake.
He may have done because Peaceful's all over the back of him now as well.
Right over the back of him, yeah, absolutely. And as I say, D Biggs back in front. D Biggs, Mr. Consistent in the Pro, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and usually capitalises on that.
Yeah.
But is Peaceful going to have a go?
He's having a look. He's on the outside, and Disco just gives him just enough room.
Just enough
room. And Peaceful has to wait again for this one to be done. But D-Big's not on the pace of these guys, the front runners tonight. He looks like he's struggled in practice, struggled in quali, and doesn't have the pace in this race. Just was fortunate of a few incidents at the start to be up into P4. But at the minute, he's doing what he needs to do, and he's in a good little fight with these two as the guys up front are gone. Andy has lost out to Unorthodox as well at the moment, who's 2.5 seconds behind Jamie on track. Further down the order, Monkey Boy kind of on his own, and that Bozzy Boy trying his best to stay with Mazda, but just not good enough at the moment.
Yes, indeed. I'm wondering if Daniel's setup, I mean, the setup that Daniel's running, I presume, is exactly the same setup as he gave me. And as I say, I had a cracking night on it last night, so I wonder if his setup is just really, really good, and maybe I should have sold it before the beginning of this race to Little Leach and D Biggs, because they can't seem to have the set. As D Biggs gets a little bit sideways, and this gives Disco an opportunity up the inside.
Oh, and he takes it.
And he does take it.
Bit of a slide for D Biggs. And a flash of the lights.
Yeah,
Was that a flash from Disco to say sorry? I mean, there was a gap open.
I think that looked more like an aggressive flash, as to say, "Hey, what was that all about?" But who knows? Who knows? Reading the flashes.
This BMW, that's allowed Peaceful through as well. Look, Peaceful up ahead of D-Biggs as well. This BMW looks good value for its money at the moment tonight, as Peaceful taking a bit of a tighter line than he might have wanted, as D-Biggs looked around the outside, and now he's going to look back up the inside, and Peaceful trying to hang it around the outside, and the three German monsters here all going at it, BMW, Mercedes and Porsche. And again, D-Biggs just gaining on the back of Peaceful into the braking zone, and back on the power now as they head down this little stretch with a bit of a left hand kink in it, but like Kelly said in qualifying or practice, it is flat gap. D-Biggs here, is he going to look for the late lunge? Peaceful's covered him off early doors and has made sure that doesn't happen, but gets a bit of a slide into the entry of the corner, and
he's got hold of it.
That little slide is going to really hurt his tyres. Just that little slide.
Lovely to look at, but doesn't do his tyres any good. And it's a fine art to go sideways and forwards at the same time.
D-Biggs.
D-Biggs is struggling. He really is. He really is with this setup. Look, as Peaceful's pulling away from him.
We know the Mercedes is good in a straight line, Kelly, but not that good over the Porsche in a straight line.
Not in the hands of D-Biggs, no, not really.
Not in the hands of D-Biggs especially. But D-Biggs, what can he do tonight? Damage limitation. Sutty's got ahead of that Bozzy Boy once again here. As the Acura's doing well. Ignore that one. Liam then, the first man to pit inside the pit window then, and is pitted at the end of the 5th lap. So he's the first man in. And I suppose that is a wise choice.
Yeah, probably. And let's see how quick his pit stop is. Tricky little pit entry here. It's 180 degrees as you come round. And, tricky little one. We saw a few people spin in the pit lane throughout the course of the week, getting used to it. So long stop.
He's definitely got some damage on that car that he is having to repair. So probably sensible that Liam's got it out of the way now, so he's got the majority of the race to push on them tyres. Back to Disco and Peaceful. Look, Disco getting all over the curb. Peaceful staying with them, and they're not dropping D-Biggs. Disco very, very wide, and Peaceful has the run.
Very wide.
Up the inside here then. We'll be on the outside at this right-hander coming up. Disco gets that job done. D-Biggs trying to look as well. All over the curb was D-Biggs here. Now then, good run out the corner. We'll give you the momentum down the straight, and look at Peaceful. The grunt to that Mercedes as Phil gets past that Bozzy Boy. So Liam's still in the pits at the minute. Look at Peaceful goes to the outside again as Disco covers the inside off.
Yeah, I was going to say this corner here. That's the as
we've
just got hill to. Andy's got a penalty.
10 second time penalty. Liam is just gone, and Andy's got a 10-second time penalty. And here's D-Biggs getting slowed down.
Don't slow that down.
No, he's got it done just in the nick of time.
Yeah, I was going to say we're miles away from the corner I was going to comment on now. But there's some various lines on some of these corners. There's some real wide lines you can take around this track because there's so many late apex corners that there is a lot of wide lines that can work. And the one I was thinking of is towards the end of the lap, which you can really go out wide and you kind of lose focus of the apex, and then kind of comes back to you as you kind of pick up the apex. Let's say lots of late apex corners on this track.
Just want to comment here, Kelly, that Peaceful had a very good Laguna Seca. He's looking good value for his money. Is he hitting a bit of a purple patch at the end of the season?
Well, maybe so. Maybe he's finally finding his form. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe so. He's certainly having a better run towards the end of the end of the season. And you know, look at these two guys here. That none of the Dan and Jamie haven't pitted yet.
Yeah.
Andy's now got a 10-second penalty. So these guys are fighting for the last podium position here.
Oh yes, without a doubt, they are fighting for that last little scrap on the podium, and obviously Andy's got to fight his way past Monkey Boy, who's right behind at the moment. But with that penalty, will surely suffer at the end of this race, depending on what kind of pace these guys are running. Obviously, these two still to pit as well, and Andy is only 10 seconds off the back of Peaceful, so that's going to be a bit longer than a pit stop. But he's doing well so far in terms of looking to get that podium.
Now. Yeah, this was the corner I was talking about. The apex comes so late that you can go right out to the right-hand side and pull right into the left onto the apex when you go up there. It's a line I saw a lot of people taking, and in qualifying, the one I took myself, to try and straighten up that corner before you go into the right-hander that follows it.
So 13 people started this race. The top 6 cannot qualify, as Andy has got past Monkey Boy then, and that job is done if you're him, as he comes around that final bend, and a bit wide as Monkey Boy comes into the pits at the end of lap 7 then. So Monkey Boy in, Andy now released from Monkey Boy and can hunt down Peaceful Explosion here.
This is the closest battle on track at the moment. Dan in second place really can't put a dent on that 2.5 second lead that Jamie Brazier's got. So this is the closest battle on track at the moment. We've got Peaceful chasing down Disco. They've been in close company most of the race, and we are at half distance of this race now as well.
Yeah.
Only a 15-lap race due to the length of the track, 3-point-something miles long. I will tell you, because I did the Wikipedia thing. It is not coming to my eye. Here we go. 3.3 miles, 17 turns. The lap record, a 141, and that's in a GP2 car. So, yeah, we're not close to the 141s, but these guys certainly doing well in the GT58s and 59s, that we're seeing at the moment.
Indeed.
So, yes, indeed. As Disco's just dropped Peaceful a little bit now.
He has a little bit.
1 second barrier.
Looking at the top 4 as well, everybody lapping in the 50s in the top 4, but Peaceful, has he just attacked a bit too hard, or maybe just having his tyres cool down a little bit as Dan then comes into the pits at the end of lap 8? Is Peaceful just backing off as he burnt his tyres, maybe just attacking too much?
Maybe he's cooling his tyres a little bit to go again. There's been a lot of talk about how to do this, and some people must be taking it on board, and not a super fast stop for Dan.
No,
he's wanting to go. Yeah, there he is.
Look who else is in the pits. Okay. It's Disco and Peaceful as well, who followed him in. So these two following each other, doing the same strategy of Peaceful and Disco. Let's keep an eye on their stops. And Disco in. There goes Andy. Peaceful's gone.
Peaceful, quick stop.
That's a good stop. Now, did Disco have damage? Remember, he was involved in a few lap 1 nudges. So did Disco have a bit of damage to repair?
I don't think he repaired that in that time. That wasn't a repair long stop, unless the damage was minor. But I don't think so. So Peaceful has jumped Disco in the pit stops.
Yes, and jumped in by a decent amount as well. Look at the gap. It was over a second before they came in. Now look at the gap now then is Disco. And what they've done though is they've put a bit of daylight between themselves and D Biggs, who's still behind Sutty, and that is there, look, way behind Disco. So a couple of seconds behind Disco. Welchie then he's had a moment. And a huge shunt into the wall. Will that require another pit stop?
Yeah,
that was a big hit.
That'll be 20 or 30 front damage easily.
Bit of
Easily, if not
suspension
more.
as well as aero, I reckon, as well.
Yeah, that's spoiled his. Oh, and he goes round again. Probably hotted those tyres up as well.
He's got to he's got to get off it, Antti, to get them tyres cooled down a bit here. Now, look at who else has jumped in the pits.
Welshie?
No, Andy.
Andy's
jumped.
Dan. Gone back. Oh, jumped him in the pits.
Yeah, jumped Dan in the pits. Jamie's in. Now, don't forget, Andy's got a 10-second penalty to his name.
Yeah.
So Dan will get that place back regardless. But Andy jumped Dan in the pits. So that's how long a stop Dan has had. So what will he lose to Big Boy Brazier here then? Let's have a look. Jamie, again, looks a bit of a longish stop. And he's away now. Not bad. I don't think it was as long as Dan.
It was a bit quicker than Dan. A little bit quicker than Dan's, I reckon. But not huge amounts, but a little bit quicker. So... where's Andy? Dan had 2.5 seconds behind Jamie Brazier. Yeah,
Andy's at the last corner, as is Dan. And Jamie's going to hit the limiter at them green cones. So now, and they're nowhere near him. Oh, no, actually.
Yeah, you say that.
Yeah, gap's about the same to Dan as what it was, actually. So I think Andy has done a good job pitting early, and maybe the undercut is the way to go here then, looking for race 2, because Andy undercut these two. Dan and Jamie look about the same distance as what they was. Look, 3 seconds between them. So, half a second. Is that what Dan lost in the pits to Jamie? Maybe. But Andy then, the undercut may be the way to go, as Little Each back in for his stop at the end of lap 10.
I bet Andy's just kicking himself for that.
See, Big's back in.
And there's no real surprise there, is there? Because he made a mess of that car.
Yeah, and no, you're right. I reckon Andy is kicking himself over that.
But we've seen Andy do this before, haven't we? Yeah. He's been one for the pit stop penalties. As they're repairing that. I know they don't look like they're doing anything. They're really good at standing around looking like they don't do anything. But they are.
Yeah, they are doing something. Daniel Francis in the chat. For me, optimum strategy is pit halfway through the race, lap 7-8. I planned it, but was on a PB lap and was on a PB lap 8 as well. That actually ruined my tyres. Lap 9 was a real slow one. Didn't do the glitch to give them more rest. It overheated them in the pits. I regretted that. So, him saying there, then based off of last night, maybe lap 7-8 is the ideal time to pit. Let the tyres cool down and go for the other half of the race.
I pitted last night exactly on lap 6.
Yeah.
And did the we must not talk about glitch thing.
Yeah.
And I was much faster than a Red Bull pit stop. Like half a second.
Yeah. And it obviously worked for you because your tyres looked all right at the end and you looked like a decent pace at the end. So is that what Andy's done here? And I mean, look at them times. 57.8, 57.9. So back-to-back 57s for Andy. Dan matching the pace. But not close enough to Andy. Now, he doesn't have to get close enough to Andy. Andy's going to lose that place on a 10-second penalty. Mazda, just a quick shout-out to him, not pitted yet, but up into P4 ahead of Disco, who's got back ahead of Peaceful by a couple of seconds as well here. So what has happened to Peaceful since the pit stops? Because he was about a second in front of Disco.
Not our fault.
And now it's not. No, we didn't do this one. We didn't do it. Oh, I said he's on a purple patch.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
He probably had a bit of a spin and then was on a brown patch.
Yeah. Phil then's got to come back into the pits as he pitted back, before. Matt. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm here. Oh dear. Phil's then got to pit because he pitted before the pit window. Sutty's still to pit, as is Mazda at the moment as well. I mean, Mazda's lap in 2 minutes, looks consistent on his lap times, nothing special compared to the front runners, but it looks like he's looking after them tyres good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought I'd just jump back to Daddy Leach. Daddy Leach, he looks like he's had a bit of a bang as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Coming thick and fast. And look, there's another smashed up Porsche. There's plenty of smashed up Porsches.
You don't like him, do you? You do not like him, as Phil then comes into the pits.
No, I can't look at it. I find it offensive. See, that's beautiful. And where's Welshie's? Because let's hope he hasn't smashed his like that. The blue one is so pretty.
It is, isn't it? It is nice.
I dare anybody to say that isn't a gorgeous car. Now you watch the chat go ting, 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 ting.
I'll tell you who didn't like it. Liam didn't like the colour.
Did he not? Well,
boring and plain, he says.
Whatever.
Yeah.
whatever. But,
I mean, I like blue, and I think the blue looks absolutely lovely. Phil in the pits, then.
Blue's stunning. Yeah,
I think it's brilliant. Phil in the pits. Could that allow Welshie and look at that, that's a bit battered. No, Phil's on his way out the pits, so Welshie will not catch. Will Liam catch up to the back of Phil? Well, that's Jamie's Audi. Where is Liam?
Where is Liam?
Well, Phil's out the pits.
I don't want to pull off this
there.
one. This is our This is our closest battle
Liam's
here
there in the back. Liam's there in the background. So Liam will see Phil now in front of him, and we'll know that that's the place for P10 and some more points in this one, as Phil only lost one place through pitting. Sutty's still to pit, as is Mazda, and they are the only two drivers to pits. But Dan just slowly now gaining on the back of that Ginetta. But of course, we know Dan doesn't need to pass Andy to get their second place.
No, but he'll want to.
He'll want to. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Of course he is. He'll want. You don't want to be given second place. You want to get second place. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the only time you want to be given it is when you're punching above your weight, and Daniel will feel that he's not punching above his weight. He'll want that second place. Oh, that's a line, Dan. I think I had a go at that one at one point in the night. Oh, actually, it was a little bit earlier where I didn't even make the apex. But yeah, he's going to want to pass because, as I said, he's a racer, and Dan would still probably at this point. Only 3 laps to go, so Daniel might concede that he's not going to win this one. But I bet you he still wants that second place on track. I
think 4.3 seconds is enough to say Jamie's got this one in the bag. Touch wood. Let's give it the old touch wood, because we know what'll happen if we don't.
Somebody will phone him.
Yeah, looking down the order. Peaceful second and a half to Disco still. Sutty's P7 at the minute, but he's still got to pit. So Sutty will probably lose to Monkey Boy. Come out ahead of D Biggs. So losing that one place, not too bad, as Andy goes a bit deep into the left-hander. And Dan looking to capitalise. Liam within 5 seconds of the Acura Phil. I'll tell you what, Dan may regret just touching that curb there, because he looked like he got that exit horribly wrong.
Yeah, I think he was probably focusing on what Andy was doing. It's very easy to watch the car in front of you and kind of wonder what they're doing and where they're going, and that kind of spoils your own line from time to time. Certainly, you get focused on the car in front of you and you think, what's he doing? What's he doing? Is he going to go off here? Is there an opportunity? And then as soon as you've done that, you kind of look back and think, oh, hang on, I'm all over the curb now.
Yeah, agree. I know what you mean. You're sort of too busy watching what the guy in front's doing, and then you just sort of that one little moment of, oh, hey, get off here.
Yeah, Martin Brundle says it regularly, and it's true. It's very easy to follow someone into someone's mistake.
Yes.
You know, when you're focused on the back of that car, they run wide, you have a tendency to follow their line.
And I feel this is something you see mainly on a Wednesday night in Pro-Am. A lot of errors where the car in front's made the error, and then the guy behind will run that little bit deep or make a similar looking error on a Wednesday night in the Pro-Am. Not necessarily up the order, but definitely down the order. That seems to be the case. Liam now 3 seconds off the back of Phil. Disco still has that 1.5, 2 second gap over Peaceful. And Dan, again, within half a second of Andy, but Andy doing a good enough job to keep in front at the moment and just irritate Dan, if anything, so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it time we started talking about a championship here? Now, this man, Dan, is leading the championship from Gary, who's not here. Who's in third? Is it Jamie or
D-Big's third, 42 points behind. Jamie fourth, 55 points behind. But Jamie's going to gain at least 5, if not 6 points over Dan in this one. Now, it's not enough, but it's enough to make Dan not win the title, if you know what I mean.
Oh, that was a bit late, Dan. A bit late on the brakes there. Again, Andy took a wider line into that corner, and I think that was catching Dan out a little bit. He kind of was a bit deep on the brakes there. So Andy's still keeping him honest, isn't he?
Yeah, he is keeping him honest here, but you have to say, the racer in him wants that P2, and he'll fight this for this next 2 laps. Although they have gained on Jamie a little bit, these two, over the last couple of laps. So Jamie just backed off to save them tyres a little bit more. Dan looking around the outside, as Liam as well is trying to get on the back of Phil here. He's within a second of Phil, so we may have to jump back and forth. But Dan so far, there's that battle. Not quite as close as the Dan one.
Not that time round for sure, but it's this section that going up through. Let me jump on board. This is the hard section on the tyres, Matt, as you know. This section up through here, you get to the top here, and the tyres are yellow if you're hitting it hard. You know, so you then come through these next couple of corners, and you can cool the tyres down the back straight.
And I don't know about you, but I feel that that's where the Ginetta may have the upper hand over the Porsche.
Yeah,
that
maybe.
First part of the track, because look at the gap Andy's got over Dan now. As we see that Buzzy boy looking on the rear of Phil, just touches that curb a little bit, has to brake a little more than he'd have wanted. Now the run out of this corner, so important. Patient Liam. Phil's ran a little bit wide, and now Liam could have a look around the outside. He's already gone to the wrong side. He's not tucking in the slipstream. Now the Audi not going to monster the Acura like the Porsche or the Mercedes-Benz would. In fact, it looks like the Acura's pulled up from the Audi a little bit.
Yeah, he has pulled away from him a little bit. But goes in a little bit deep. Liam right back on him in the corner. I just wanted to see. I'm trying to jump between these two.
Oh, Dan's got the
Dan. There we go. Dan makes it stick round the outside of whichever corner that was. He's got in front of Andy, so job done on that one.
He's done Andy now. Now, did Andy make a bit of a mistake? He didn't sound like he was on the power coming out the corner. Maybe he just hit the curb too hard. But Dan, round the outside, job done. He's got that move sorted.
Yeah, round the outside. So you've got to think that Andy was in the midst, halfway through a mistake or something for Dan to be able to drive right round the outside of Andy is reasonably brave. So you must think that there was a mistake happening just as we jumped on there or something.
Now, Liam, can he gain a couple extra points ahead of Phil? Then this will be massive for Liam in terms of, just cheering the mood, because he's not going to be very happy with what's happened in this race. Obviously, Phil involved in that incident with Liam early doors, so Liam's going to want to get past Phil here and tucked in that slipstream. But I tell you what, Mazda's now in the pits, and Mazda on the penultimate lap has got himself a 10-second penalty. So that'll go against him at the end of this one. Yeah, very rusty. Sooty's still to pit as well. That could give Sooty a place, I reckon, here as Peaceful and Disco get past Mazda.
Look, Liam's having a look. Oh, he was having a look up the inside. Brave up through there, but he was having a look. He's certainly looking racing. What could have been for Liam, isn't it?
Yeah.
How many can't qualify? What's the cut-off
top
position?
Six. Top six can't qualify.
Top six. So Sooty, Mazda's in the last position to not qualify. So with a 10-second penalty. So will he drop? No. Will he drop behind the run out lap for Mazda? Or he's still in? Yeah, run out lap for Mazda. Sooty comes into the pits.
Yeah, we're on then the final lap of the race. We'll have to cut to Jamie Brazier in just a moment to see him win this one then, or it looks like he's going to win this one 3.5 clear then as he's coming to back end of this track. We're not going to be able to see if Liam can get the move done or not, but what a start for big boy Brazier tonight. He's trying to keep himself in that championship hunt as he comes down this quick part of the track. Andy's not really let Dan go just yet. That's 0.9 of a second, but you have to say for Jamie here, he's not put a foot wrong in this first race.
No, not at all. And think where Jamie would be if he hadn't had his internet problems and so on and so forth. He could have been a real force to be reckoned with.
Oh, Welshie's back in the pits. I wonder what that's for down in 13th
A lot of people
place.
pitting very late, isn't there?
Well, Welshie's already done his stop, but that's not going to stop Jamie Brazier taking his first win of the evening. Danny's going to get P2 ahead of Andy in P3. Good drive for Dan, great drive for Andy in that Ginetta.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good result. P4 will be Disco. But let's just cut back to Phil and Liam, because Liam's got Phil. They are just behind this pack. And Liam then did get Phil at the end.
Yeah,
he wasn't able to bring it here, but Phil's then going to cross the line 11th. Liam, what could have been for him down in P10? He will get to qualify. And I tell you what, I fancy Liam for a pole position in that Q2. D-Biggs in the hat. I think Liam's got a better one-lap pace than D-Biggs. Disco McDisco Face will cross the line P4.
Yeah. Looks quite happy with that, and but those guys were nearly 20 seconds off the leaders.
Yeah.
Quite a gap from the top three back to the rest of them.
Peaceful P5, and then it's Mazda who isn't going to get P6 here. It looks like Monkey Boy's within that 10-second gap of Mazda, so that will allow Mazda then to qualify for the second race. That will put Monkey Boy up to P6, and Mazda will then be in P7. Steady. Yeah. Do you know what that is for Mazda with a bit of rust? Steady, quiet, out of trouble, nice sort of just plodding along. Peaceful Monkey Boy 6th, Mazda 7th then. It's going to be Sooty Apex to come home in an 8th place and caught up in a few incidents early doors. Maybe he'll have the look next time around, but we'll have to wait to see. Welsh is still in the pits, but he'll be finishing 13th. Sooty we know is 8th. Phil we know is 11th. Liam we know is 10th. And D-Biggs 9th. Well.
Yeah. The two normal front-running Porsches are going to come over the line. As they're in different places on the track, but they're on the same place in the track, but they're in different places in the order. Little Leach's car looking absolutely trashed. And those two front-running Porsches way back in that race.
Way back down in that race. Jamie Brazier, 56.9 in the race. A fastest lap for him as well. We're going to be back in just a few moments with the driver interviews and the second qualifying. Top 6 cannot qualify. And my money's on Liam in Q2. So don't go anywhere. Grab a cup of coffee. Go for a toilet break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
You're the night sky trying to make me see your stars, but the dark gets so lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence, and the dark's all that I see. When your stars are burnt out and your heart makes no sound, I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. All in when I show up, whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. When I watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate.
round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, 'cause you caught it. You caught it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the end, so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine, just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. When we meet, hold my hand in the darkness. Summer heat, bodies laid on the carpet. Eye to eye, glistening, no, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the end, so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine, just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden. You know it. Yeah, you're glowing. Golden. Golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the end, so I could show you. Golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. Hey.
getting hype when I aim up. Elevating that game up. Stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
Who was that?
Right, going live.
Me.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Simplay Motorsport here for the 22nd round of the season. 2 more to go after this tonight, all at Monza next week for the Pro and Pro-Am. But it could be done tonight. It could be done for Dan tonight. He's in the pot. We'll get away with him in a moment. He's 45 points. He is clear of Gary 131. He's 49 clear of Big Boy Brazier. 55 clear of D-Biggs. Them 4 can still mathematically win the title. Constructors could be done tonight, but it depends. I think D-Biggs needs to score a few more than what he did in the first race to help Dan out to win that one tonight. If they do win it, we'll get Biggs and Dan in regardless of the podium finish. If they do win that one, then Andy climbed up the table massively in that, and Disco's putting himself in a fight with GQ Motorsport that could go to the end of the season. What that's done for Mazda as well is that's put Mazda on just a few more points. Not enough yet. He's not going to get anywhere near Welshie, but just a few more for him. Right, to the podium finishes then. We'll start with Andy. P3 in the Ginetta, 10-second time penalty, but he'd lost that to Dan just before the end. But solid race for the Ginetta again. A bit of a purple patch at the end of this season.
Yeah, starting to get the hang of it a bit too late. Started off well, it's starting to end well as well. But had a good battle with Dan in that one. It was a really enjoyable little scrap that we had at the start of the race before the pit stops and at the end as well. A bit frustrated to get the 10-second penalty, but having said that, it wouldn't have actually made a difference in the end anyway. So, yeah, just pretty happy to have got a podium, another podium. So 2 in a row, just hoping to build on that. And I'm hearing that I'm safe in the Pro Series now as well.
Yeah, it looks to be that way. Yeah, it looks to be that way. Yeah, head of Joe, head of Sutty, head of Liam, head of Phil and Welshie as well. So that looks to be safe. How was the tyres on that Ginetta? Because tyres are the big issue tonight. What was the tyres like?
Ginetta's really smooth on its tyres actually. It's very, very kind to it. It's they were going orange towards the end, but the actual wear and the actual tyre wear wasn't that much. It was only about 20% off of the top. So I have to say it's going pretty well. I put the tyre pressures up quite a bit. They were sort of between 29 and 30 for most of the race, so it might have helped a bit. It was a bit slidey, but sort of managed it quite well. So the Ginetta, all in all, is really, really good on its tyres. So it was quite lucky that way.
What can you do race 2 coming from what looks to be sort of mid-pack in this one? What can you do from there?
Well, I've got the luck of the draw, haven't I, with the whole random qualifying position. So hoping that I can make some quick progress. It's going to be about the pit stop strategy, I think, trying to get that fast pit stop. You know, the one we're talking about, the engine damage one. Got that in the first race, not that it came to any avail with the 10-second penalty, but yeah, hoping to maximise that if I can.
Well, best of luck, buddy. Oh, sorry, go on, Kelly.
Sorry, yeah, I was just going to say, you say you're getting the hang of the Ginetta. You're not going to keep it for next season, are you?
Definitely not a chance.
Fair enough. That's all I need to hear.
Yeah. I'm counting down the races, 3 to go.
Yeah. 3 to go. Good luck with it, but I'm sure you're going to be happy to see the back of that car.
100%.
Good luck, buddy.
Well done, Andy.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.
We got an Orthodubs in with us as well, and Dan, obviously, as I said just a moment ago, title and constructors could be yours tonight, but that's not the main issue. The main issue is making sure that Jamie doesn't outscore you in this race to keep it into next week.
Yeah, we'll just take each race as it goes. I'm trying not to think about it too much. Just take race by race. So yeah, I am thinking title, but we're taking it race by race.
2 weeks ago, won the GT5s. Surely the GT3s are on your mind. I know you say you're not thinking about it, but surely they're there.
I am thinking about it. Like, I want it. I've never wanted the GT3. The GT3 Championship more than this season. I've finally had a decent car, and I've had the chance to fight. And one of my main contenders is out and is not here. And again, shame to Gary, but it would have been nice to finish the season on a high. But I've got to make sure Jamie stays behind me now. This round and Monza is left, so it's looking good, but I don't want to curse myself. Anything can happen.
Now, a good solid start to tonight's race. You got off the grid well, got ahead of Andy early doors, which you needed to do. And Jamie was just kind of on another level tonight. You never really looked like getting past Jamie at any point. Was you just happy to follow Jamie home for second?
I was trying to catch him. I knew that if I could have one round at least ahead of him, then I would be at least a little bit more happier going into race 2. So it was a bit like, what do I do? Do I sit and follow, or do I try and attack while I could? His internet really scared me at the start, so I couldn't really attack. But by that point, he got comfortable, he pulled away, and yeah, he just seemed to have the better setup, the better drive, and overall better driver. So fair play to Jamie, and congrats for his race win. And let's fight this till the end.
You're going to be P13. Oh, sorry, Kelly, go on.
Oh yeah, we were just talking in the stream. We were talking about setup, and as you well know, I was running your setup last night and making it work in the Pro-Am really quite well. And I said on the stream that D Biggs and Little Malik must have something very different to not be on the pace of you. But you're telling me that D Biggs was on the same setup as you tonight.
He did race the same setup as me last race. He just doesn't like Dubai. He absolutely hates it, and he says also that he just hasn't put the time in it.
Okay, because again, we've talked, quite openly and whatever about patience on this track. Do you think that's the key, patience?
You needed the time to practice this track. You needed to learn the lines.
You need to get the laps in. Is that what you're saying?
Once you learn the lines, then it all came to you.
Yeah.
You're going to start P13 in this one, Dan, at the back of the pack. What can you do from there?
Stay out the way. Stay clear out the way. I do not want to be getting involved with any silly incidents, so I'll be taking it lap by lap, driver by driver, and pit at a time. So,
best of luck, mate. Go well in the second race.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And we've got Jamie here as well, who didn't lose his race win record last night to Fury, but he's trying to add to his race win tally. He's approaching the milestone of 25 race wins, Jamie, which is very impressive. You're on 22 yourself. Now, that number's a fantastic number for you to have, and it was a great win today. Not the pressure I think you may have expected early doors in the race.
No, so I'd expect Dan to kind of throw caution to the wind a bit, and just go for it and just kind of break my rhythm. But say Andy just got involved, and I was quite happy for him to be battling Dan, because it just meant that I could escape up the road a little. Now,
going into tonight and next week at Monza, you've got nothing to lose in the title. You're hanging on by a thread, and you know this. Is it? I'm just going to go for that race win, give it my all. If Dan messes up and I'm still in that and I gain points on him, brilliant. If I'm not in the title, because you've not really been in the title fight for a while now, is that your mentality at the minute? Is do my best, I'll do my part. If it's not good enough, it's not good enough.
Yeah, say at the minute it's just thinking, I just need to go for as hard as I can. Say at the minute it's just been going for race wins, but podiums and race wins are just the aim for the rest of the season. Get as many points as I can to just cement our place in the team's championship.
And finally, just a quick word on your teammate Liam, because we speak about him most weeks, obviously coming up from the Pro-Am to the Pro. He's had pace tonight, and he got a bit unlucky in race 1, didn't he? And he's qualifying 3 tenths off the pole at the minute. He's a guy that looks like he's got something around Dubai.
Yeah, so we were looking just before, or just at the end of that last race, we were just looking at lap times, and he had the pace of Dan and Andy, so he would have been well up there if he just hadn't been involved in the incident. So hopefully in this one he can just stay clean and get that podium that he so desperately wants.
Go well, Jamie, in race 2. Sorry, go on, Kelly.
Jamie, to think, I mean, it's possible for you to get the title, but you must be thinking that's a big long shot. Are you just now thinking next season's going to be my thing? And are you sticking with the Audi for next season? And is that more your focus now?
So next season's more my focus now. After Laguna, I knew that the title was just gone. I'd need Dan and Gary not to turn up. Well, Gary hasn't turned up, but unfortunately Dan has. But in terms of the Audi, I'll be looking to stay in that, because that me and the Audi just seem to be match made in heaven. It just clicks really well.
I think you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Oh well, you are now, but I think you know, it's certainly if you can keep your internet connection good, then I think it's going to be a force to be reckoned with next season for sure.
Yeah.
Good luck, buddy.
Yeah. Good luck, mate.
So we tipped Bozzy for pole, Kelly, in this one, but D-Biggs has found a bit of pace from somewhere from race 1 and Q1 into this second one, because he's 3/10 quicker than Liam. But Liam, to start on the front row of the grid, would be, I think, his highest starts here at Simplay in the pro category. He's been third. Oh no, he has been second at the second race of Zoo High. So this would match his best result unless he can get that pole. It'll be buzzing if he could find that 3/10, wouldn't he? Mazda, though, he's purple in sector 1 and 2. This guy's on a flyer. D-Biggs, I think, crossed the line before the end there, so he's got one more chance. Liam's gone purple sector 2 now, so Mazda's going to do a lap before Liam. No, he's not.
Oh, Mazda spun it.
Yeah, he's lost it right at the end. Liam, purple sector 2. Now, what can this man do? For some reason, the car's ghosted. Not quite sure why. But what can Bozzy Boy do here? Last corner. I tell you what, this could be a scream if he gets pole position here. A bit wide at the end. What is he going to do as he goes down towards the line? Has he got the time? No.
No.
Not improved. Not improved. His last lap was a couple of attempts slower than his best, so what a shame. It looks like D-Biggs is going to take pole then, as Phil is on a flyer himself. Liam must have lost it in that last sector before we got to him. What a shame, because I tell you what, Liam, there'd have been a scream from upstairs, I reckon, if Liam had got pole position there. But P2, he can be very, very happy with that one.
Yes, indeed he can. Yeah, good effort. And if he can keep his nose clean, he could be on for a good result if he's got good pace, which
based off
of
what Jamie was saying, with the pace, if he was as quick as Andy and Dan, well, hey, that could be something. Liam could be on for not only his first podium, but maybe a first race win. How consistent and together can he be? How will his nerves be? If he's in a party with Jamie, and I think he might be in one with Mazda as well, they'll want to keep him cool and calm and collected as much as possible here.
Phil goes third.
Phil does go third, knocking Mazda down.
I didn't lie.
Sorry. When you said it, I didn't want to believe you because the Acura.
It was a moment of shock for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yes!
That's the way to make Matthew Duffin speechless, is see a Honda at the front.
D-Biggs then is going to get pole position here, followed by that Bozzy Boy, then Phil, then Mazda, then Little Each. And a message I've just had doesn't bode well. Now, we'll see what happens if it loads into the next part of the race, but I'm not going to say who it's from and what it is yet. We'll see what happens in a moment. But D-Biggs then, your provisional pole man, followed by that Bozzy Boy, then Phil, Mazda, Little Each, Sutty, Welchie, Monkey Boy, Peaceful Andy, and then you've got Disco, Big Boy Brazier and Unorthodox. And I tell you what, Mazda P4, he'll be one to watch in this race, as will Phil and D-Biggs as always. But we're going to be ready to ready up, and I'm hoping here that the comment that I've just received isn't true and that he can get going. But that, for D-Biggs, is his first pole position of the season. And for that Bozzy Boy, he now has the best Q2 average position of 5th with his second place there. And look, there is an Audi at the back of the pack all over the place, but not retired. Yep. Jamie's still on that list, and that's the problem. Is Jamie said his PlayStation's frozen. That's the problem. Is Jamie out of this race? If so, that'll give Dan the championship. And what a way for Dan to win it. He'll not want to have done it that way, but a win's a win.
But yeah, as we see, Jamie is just bouncing all over the shop. We were just talking about his internet connection, because it's always a talking point. And looks like someone's been phoning him again. It's probably a double glazing salesman, or someone standing in the bedroom doorway. But he does look like he's all over the place. Let's hope he can get it sorted out. But it's not looking very promising.
You love the stats, don't you, Kelly?
Oh, I live for a stat, Matthew.
Right. That is Little Leach's first ever Q2 performance this season, with a best of 5th.
He's never been in Q2, has he not?
Not been in Q2 all season until tonight.
What about D-Biggs? Because he's normally towards the front.
Well, D-Biggs, let me have a look. No, it was at Q2 at Laguna Seca last week. He qualified 3rd.
Yeah, right.
But for Little Each, first Q2 appearance. So there we go.
He must be strange territory for him.
Now I'm not sure what's happening with Jamie, but yeah, there you go. You see the
He's
car is on the grid. We're syncing up now. Then has Jamie got it sorted? He's on the grid. Was it just a bit of a glitch to start with? We'll see if Jamie goes here, but he is currently there on the grid. It's lights out, away we go. Jamie is away, so the championship's not done yet. And look at that Buzzy boy! He's got a right start up the inside of D-Biggs already into Tier 1. Phil stays third ahead of Little Eat. Shutty's looking up the inside of a few drivers as well, but Liam up the inside of D-Biggs into Turn 1, leads at Dubai. And D-Biggs, though, not giving it up easy yet. Going to fight back. They squeeze each other, a bit of a touch, but they're still pointing in the right direction. And Liam now does have that lead.
And looking like a cleaner start so far from these guys. Liam in front. And keep your head down, Liam. Crack on. The people behind you are struggling at the moment, so you've got time to get away. The nearest person who's got pace is probably Andy. So crack on, Liam.
What a start from Andy, up to 5th now. From what, 8th was it, I think, on the grid?
7th, wasn't he? 7th.
10th, I put him down as. He started 10th because Walshy started 7th, so 10th to 5th on the first couple of corners. Great start from Andy, and like you said, Liam, like Jamie said on the interview, Liam had the pace of Andy and Dan, so what can they do? Dan's up to 9th, Big Boy Brazier's 13th. Yeah, was he more patient then? Although, no, look at that. Has he been involved in a bit of a tussle somewhere? Because he is way back. There's Big Boy Brazier.
Although, who's behind him?
Yes, now...
he's lagging all over the shop, that's what it is.
I'm wondering
there was a car behind him just a minute ago.
I think something's glitched here.
There is a car behind him.
Yes, look at Jamie's time. He's a minute 51 off the leaders, and they're about done an outlap. He's a minute 33 behind Monkey Boy, so I think it's glitched Jamie out and hasn't recognised that he's ready up in time. Do you know, with all the bouncing around at the beginning? I think Jamie will stay last and won't even do a lap time, it will say here. We've had that problem before with Disco at a track. D-Biggs, though, trying to pressure the back of Liam here, and that Buzzy boy, how will he handle that pressure? Phil's still up into third head of Little Each and Andy at the minute. Disco's got himself ahead of Sutty. You see Jamie, 1 minute 51 off the lead now as D-Biggs is in a different postcode in Dubai, and Phil could get past D-Biggs down in a straight. Teammates in a previous league, not teammates anymore, and Phil gets himself up into second, but that's just relieves
second.
Yeah, boy.
Do you want a little permanent personal moment there, Matthew? Just give yourself a little permanent personal moment. Yeah.
Phil,
no more than 2.5. No more than 2.5 minutes, because that's what makes babies.
Now what's happened to Monkey Boy here? He's in the pits.
Oh, see, Little League's sideways and out of shape.
Right, now
held onto it beautifully.
I think the glitch has fixed itself now, because Jamie, look, back up to P11. Andy's now 7 seconds off the lead, so I think that's worked itself out. He's on the back of Mazda and Sutty, who haven't had the greatest of opening laps. Monkey Boy into the pits as well. But with D-Biggs running wide there, who's just got back ahead of Phil, that's allowed Liam 2.5 seconds of breathing space.
I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to let Liam concentrate and get on with it. And we'll see him again if he comes on. Look at all that back towards the back here. Who's all that at the back?
It's peaceful. Phil, Big Boy Brazier and Mazda all sort of gathering around. That is
Sutty
peaceful. A Sutty send it gone wrong, and he's lost that to peaceful. And Jamie, in fact, no, I tell you what, he's done he's played an absolute blinder there. He knew that the next corner was a left-hander. I'll just run a little bit wide.
Jamie outpowers him as he goes up the hill, but that was a classic Sutty send it, and a beautiful one at that. Did about 3 places in one go. Jamie, as I said, out-dragged him, and look, Peaceful's all over the back of him with the power of that.
And you see Sutty there. Look at Sutty just trying to weave left and right a little bit just to keep that Merc behind. Maybe just stop it in its tracks a little bit. Bit of weaving it to buy. Who'd have thunk it?
Who would have thought it? Who would have ever done that? Don't talk about it.
No, Jamie then up to P8. The next car for Jamie is on Autodubs as that Buzzy Boy, 2.6 seconds now. And said it yet tonight, but I tell you what, how this is ebbing and flowing in the championship for an Autodubs. At 1 minute, Jamie's all over the place. It doesn't look like he's going to race. The next minute, he's the car behind you, and he has to do something about it. Now, I know we're not talking about him, but look at the pace of the leader on the last lap.
Yeah. He's done it. He's made a mistake. He's made a mistake, but he's held on to it.
He's kept on to it. 7 tenths. He's lost 2 seconds somewhere. So he's had a slide somewhere then. But Andy up into P3 now as well. He got past Phil as we was on board him there. So Andy running good guns at the minute. Little Each up into 5th as well. Disco 6th. Dan, though, trying to get on the back of Disco. You see there. And Jamie trying to get on the back of Dan as Little Each looking at Phil. And that one, I think, is done.
Yes, indeed. Shout upstairs to Liam and say, pay attention.
No, I'm going to leave him be. I don't want to startle him.
Some great racing going on up and down the track. We're on board with Unorthodox. Look at all this lot fighting for position. Phil was running good guns, but he's slipping back now. Just still getting the power of that Acura. It's just, I hate to say it, but that Acura is shocking. Because Phil is a good paced driver, and so is Sooty. Do you know what I mean? It must have been painful for them all this season to be having the results that they're having, because they're both good drivers.
Very good quick drivers, aren't they? As Phil's going to lose out around the outside to Dan here.
Daniel. Oh, I don't know if he is.
Oh, he's not. Oh, he's not.
Oh, no, he spun him.
Oh, was that
round?
Now, that was a very uncharacteristic thing. Was that lag? Because he seemed to just bounce back in a very laggy type way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. It was, hard to say, really. Dan was around the outside of him, and Phil came in, and just watch back on the watch back on the replay. We'll have to keep our eyes on our second monitors. Monkey Boy in the pits again. What's happening to Monkey Boy then? Not sure what's happening there, but here we go. Just on board Unorthodox on the replay. Oh no! What's happened? What has happened? D-Biggs has taken the lead. Liam's now down to P2 and has Andy on his tail. Now I'm just on board Phil here on the street. Just the way he sort of taps down and the way the car acts after he taps down just looked very laggy a little bit. Now then, Liam down to second place behind D-Biggs. What can he do from here? I tell you, the man who could win this one is the man we're on right now.
Yes.
Is Andy. We know he was quick in the first one. Liam and D-Biggs both struggling. Liam had a good start, but seems to be struggling a bit now. We know D-Biggs has been struggling with this. Nobody's setting the timing. The timings on fire, are they? 58, 59 from Jamie and Peaceful. The rest of them are all solidly in the 2 minutes.
Oh, so Liam's having a look.
He's got more pace than this.
Yeah, he has got more pace than this than Liam. We're just having a look up the inside of D-Biggs there, and I tell you what, this way, as Andy got a bit of a wiggle, runs a bit wide there then, look. Liam's not out of this. I wonder if Liam's just not been in this, being at the front of Pro-Am, you know that feeling, it's a great feeling, but this is the Pro, this is the big league. As he's going to have a look, Liam Lunge coming out the closet, and has he got it done?
Has he done it?
I tell you what, he's up he's got the inside now. Oh, he's just,
he leans on D-Biggs a little
just
bit.
A bit of rubbing racing there.
It happens there.
D-Biggs is going to get back up the inside here. And Liam's going to have to... Oh, he's not giving this one up, is he? He's not giving that one up. He does now, though, and has to tuck back in. And Andy is right in a good position.
Danger, man.
But Liam is looking racy, and this is brilliant to see from Liam.
Yes, indeed. Certainly is. And... as I say, he hasn't given it up yet. He hasn't given it up by a long shot. But Andy, Little Leach and Disco all in very, very close company as well. And some cracking racing in the first 4 laps of this race.
Yeah,
these Pro boys just having to work for it a little bit here, aren't they?
Liam just having another look up the inside, and Andy well wide. Where is that off? And look at how far he goes there.
Back to Laguna Seca there.
Yeah, he must be. He's off somewhere. He's off shopping in the expensive city of Dubai. As Disco's looking on the back of Little Each here, and is he going to look down the inside? Jamie's disconnected.
Yes, where's Jamie?
Fury in the chat. Jamie's disconnected. So Big Boy Brazier has gone. No points.
You know what that means?
That means, depending on what... Well, hang on. D-Biggs is mathematically still in the title fight here.
Okay.
But Jamie has disconnected. So depending on the gap between D-Biggs and Unorthodox tonight, Dan will be crowned champion. Now, will D-Biggs let Liam through to lose a couple of points? Now, Liam's lost a bit of pace here to D-Biggs. Will D-Biggs let Liam and Andy through then to get ahead? So he drops a few points to Dan. I wonder if a race win's worth sacrificing for the team game. But at the minute, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Still 10 laps to go. Pit window is open this lap. Monkey Boy has been in the pits twice and has got to pit again for his troubles. Unfortunately for him, that's the way the rules are.
Yeah, I mean, you just said that. Will D-Biggs drop back? I mean, D-Biggs is a lovely guy. I've met him, and he's a really nice guy. He's a consistent, fair racer. You know, proper kind of guy you want to race against. But is he going to give up a race win for Daniel's Championship, for the Constructors' Championship? They're going to get it done. Do you know what I mean? If they don't get it done this week, they'll get it done next week. I don't know if he's going to give up a race win. The racers in us, do you know what I mean? You know?
No, I know. I get exactly what you mean here then. And even though Phil just tapped an Autodubs around, I don't think that's going to matter because I think this is the job done. Liam still has Andy on the back of him. D-Big's just making a little error there, and that's allowed Liam to just gain a couple of tenths. And this battle between these three is ebbing and flowing.
It is. D-Biggs hasn't got this done by any stretch of the imagination. He is fighting that Porsche in every single corner at the moment. He really isn't clicking with this Dubai track at all. So it isn't done by a long shot yet. Liam could still win this one.
Dan in. End of lap 5, Dan's in.
He's on the pit stop. Is he trying to do the glitch we can't talk about? And have a quick pit stop here. Let's see how quickly he does this.
And that's been the story of Jamie's season, hasn't it? The disconnections, which has cost him a season. He's lost out to Sutty as Danny. He'll lose out to Oshie. He won't lose out to Monkey Boy. It's not the glitch. It's a very long stop.
It's not a glitch stop.
I wonder if he picked up a bit of damage with that contact with Phil.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, as we just jumped back onto Liam, as Liam was having a bit of a moment and gave Andy a sniff up the inside, but Liam's covered it off. And, a bit of rubbing, nearly a bit of rubbing.
Jamie's just put in the chat, his game froze when he left the commentary booth, and the Wi-Fi was playing up ever since, so that is not good to see if you're Jamie Brazier. Then as Liam made a mistake, like you've just said, Kelly, and that's allowed D-Biggs to free himself up, and Andy just patiently waiting on the back of Liam, and Andy said he'd love another podium, a good run of podiums in this Ginetta. It's not enough to change his mind to keep the car as Disco's got past Little Each behind, but a good bit of form at the end of this season is what he wants, and Liam here,
I think Liam's too busy defending now and not going forward.
Yeah, I think what he's doing, Kelly, is he's over panicked himself, if you will. He's too high. He's got a nosebleed, if you will. He's got a bit dizzy, a bit lightheaded. He needs to just keep himself cool and calm and just race as if it's a normal race. Don't look at what position you're in, sort of thing.
Yeah, he needs to concentrate. He needs to be looking forward more than behind because he seems to be driving over defensively at the moment. So
is Andy very wide?
Well, where's Andy going? Is he going to the pits?
He's dived into the pit lane.
Is he going to get slowed down in time? I'm sure he will this time.
Yes,
doesn't fall foul to that one. So is Andy on the glitch thing that we?
Well, let's wait and see as Phil's into the pits as well as Andy then at the end of lap 6, as is Peaceful Explosion then, who's having a bit of a quiet race this time around. But I tell you what, Jamie in the chat, come on Liam, please get a podium. I tell you what, I think the whole of Simplay Motorsport wouldn't begrudge Liam a podium.
No, God, no. No, absolutely. I think everyone would like to see Liam get a podium. That was a quick stop from Andy. He might well have got that. This whole glitch thing that is possible, and a few people have done it. I've done it a couple of times myself. You don't always get it right every time, but it does make for a little bit more interesting in the pit stops, don't you think?
I think it does, yeah. And the glitch thing is obviously something that we cannot control. There's Little Each here is coming back at Disco. And they make huge contact. And
Little Leach kind of lost that himself, lost it up over the curb really, and poor old Disco was kind of the passenger in that one.
Went to make the move, but
from the way I saw it,
went to make the move, but then just seemed to. I'm going to keep an eye on the monitor next to me as well, as I was just looking at the comments and then come back to the screen. But yeah, it looked like Little Each was up the inside, then just lost it himself. And
caught that curb, I reckon.
Yeah, and Disco just a passenger really in that one. I agree. Liam get a podium, says Fury in the chat. I don't think anybody would begrudge him, as we've just said. But that Bozzy Boy, 1.8 off the back of D-Biggs. Andy's pitted now, so Liam could do with. When's he going to retaliate to that one? When's he going to react to Andy coming in the pits? We're on lap 7 of 15.
I missed that one on the stream.
Yeah, I think I did as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of missed it, I think. But, it looked like Little Leach got up on the curb a little bit and then unsettled the car. These big sausage curbs do unsettle the car quite a lot.
Massively.
There's a lot of the curbs that you just can't mess with, really.
And the Porsche is a car that you can bounce off the curbs quite nicely. And Liam, straight away, does retaliate to Andy's pit stop. Very well done by Liam there. I think we should just publish how to do the glitch and people can choose to do it or not, says Daniel Francis. And I think that's a very good option. It gives everybody the chance to do it, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Now, That's not Liam's crew, that's Disco's crew. Disco then comes into the pits at the end of lap 7 as well. Liam in the pits. It's a bit of a longer stop than Andy's.
It is.
He's gone now.
It's okay.
So where's Andy? Let's jump on to Andy. Where is he? He's coming out the final corner. Welchie and Sutty, and they're all pitting here.
I don't know, that's...
Yeah, he's done him.
No,
he's
it's not
done
quite
him.
going to be enough. Yeah,
He's done him. Liam losing out to Andy then, and that's not what he would have wanted to see, really, says Disco in the chat. As a few of the drivers pit this lap, but Andy again, stellar pit stop, and Liam comes out. What is a net P3, let's not forget. It's still a podium at the moment if you are that Bozzy boy. And Andy, I mean, was it inevitable that Andy was going to get past at some stage or another? He has been
possibly
quick
possibly.
he was quick in race 1, and he's been on the back of Liam for a while now.
Yeah, he's been quick all night. But can this man, D-Biggs, hold on to this one? Interesting to see, because he has not been great tonight. Not been his usual self, that's for certain. And let's see where he ends up at the end of this. And as Daniel's on there on a charge, trying to go back through the pack.
Don't forget what I said race 1 about the undercut. D-Biggs hasn't pitted here, and Andy and Liam have both pitted.
And Dan has as well, and he's coming back through the pack.
And Dan has, yeah.
He's
now, I don't think Dan's
fastest man on the track as well.
I don't think Dan's close enough to undercut D-Biggs.
No.
But in terms of Liam and Andy, only a couple of seconds behind when they pitted, I think could be worth, if we see their pace now, it could be worth an undercut. Liam's only a couple, he's got nothing behind. This is the battle behind Liam, and they're a good, near enough 10 seconds behind him. So he's got a good clear track behind. He's now not focusing on Andy in his mirrors. He can look forward, maybe try and gain on Andy. But this could work over D-Biggs here. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. And Peaceful not getting the run out the corner, but Unorthodox did. And what is soon to be classed as your Season 3 champion up into P6.
How many points between D-Biggs and Dan have we got? What does Dan need to do here tonight?
So I think, race? For me, for Dan to win, D-Biggs has got to outscore Dan. I don't know. He's 55 behind, with 52 up for grabs. So D-Biggs has got to score 3 points more than Dan
to keep it alive. No, are you sure about that?
No, Dan's got to
score 3 more points.
If Dan scored 3 points and D-Biggs took a 26, Dan wins the title, I think. Because going in before the points, Dan's 55, but D-Biggs is 55 behind with 52 up for grabs. So if Dan gets a point, even if D-Biggs wins and gets fastest lap, I think this one's done. I don't think there's any way. D-Biggs has got to win the race and Dan finish way down the order, I think, for that to happen. Right. Sutty back into the pit, so he's obviously had to make another stop. But yeah, I think Dan's got D-Biggs done in the position he's in at the moment.
Okay, well, we'll see, and he might have to do some quick maths towards the end, Matt, because we're going to want to know, aren't we?
Yeah, don't you worry. I'll have it told. I will have it told as the last driver's coming round. I will.
Something getting all excited and moved out of my chair, and now I've disconnected my speakers.
The reign of the Gary 131 is over, possibly tonight, and it's new reign. It's a new reign. Is it a new reign in the Constructors' Championship? The Leach Motorsport of Season 1 and 2, the Leachy legends of this year and no more. And it's the Shake and Bake boys who are on the top step. What this will mean, though, by the way, and how boring. A Porsche's won every season of the Pro. Constructors and drivers.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's...
D-Biggs in.
Yes, indeed. As we have... as we go into season... What will it be? Season 4?
Season 4, yeah.
Season 4, as we come to the 1-year anniversary of Simplay, it's been a Porsche dominant in the jewel of the crown, which is GT3. So it'd be interesting to see, though. I think the guard's going to change. If Jamie can keep his internet connection good, that's Andy's already through, and Liam, they're well through.
Yeah, so there you go then. I said the undercut, and D-Biggs, though, to be fair, looks like he's made a mistake somewhere, because Dan's also passed him.
Yeah, he's still... Is he doing damage?
Look at the front end. He's had D-Biggs has had an off because that front end is pushed in. He's even lost out to Peaceful. Even Phil and Disco have got past D-Biggs now. So Little Each still to pit as is Mazda. That's put Liam back to a net second place here. So Liam's just got to keep doing what he's doing.
Absolutely, this man is your net leader, Andy, in the Ginetta. He's been in this car off, but it's been good to him so far around Dubai. That's for certain, sure. And as Liam drops it, picks it back up quite quickly, but drops it there.
He's got to focus. He's got to calm down and focus as Liam. He knows he's on for a podium. That's Dan behind him. If you ask me, I'd be sort of tempted to say, let Dan go. Don't fight him too hard, because Peaceful's a couple of seconds behind Dan. If he wants that podium, Liam has just got to keep calm. He's scrubbed his tyres now. He's got to back off a little bit. Ban the Porsche next season, says Jamie Brazier. And what wins does Dan have compared to D-Biggs this season? Well, Jamie, Dan has 6 wins to his name this season. D-Biggs only has the 1 win to his name, but D-Biggs has been up there through his sheer consistency this season.
Mr. Consistent, Mr. Pro Consistent, isn't he?
Whereas Dan's had a few poor races, but has won 6 to balance the books, if you will. And Liam has just got to cool it down now. Would Dan sit behind Liam for his first ever podium?
Dan's got this done with D-Biggs behind him. Jamie's out. Gary's not here. Dan's got this done. Does Dan need to? If Dan becomes under pressure by somebody else, then surely he can. We'll see. We'll see what Dan does.
Yeah, Dan very wide there through the... Well, not very wide. We've seen a few cars wider than that tonight, but Dan wide nonetheless. Flash to Liam then, and... come on, Dan, let's not put him under any pressure. Let's leave him to it, the poor boy. He's fighting for his first podium. Don't worry.
He's flashing him to say, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to pressure you,
I'm not going to pressure you. I don't know how you could relay that in a flash of lights, but he could be,
Little Leach, your net leader ahead of Mazda. Them two still not pitted. Andy only 6 seconds off the back of them two. Then I'll tell you what, Little Leach is working out that his pit stop could maybe put him in between Dan and Liam here. Come out around this little battle, 20 seconds, maybe just behind Peaceful a little bit. I think Peaceful's made a mistake, because he's dropped back a fair few seconds compared to Dan. He's now 8 seconds off the back of Liam, as Phil's trying to get in on the back of Disco, and D-Biggs is down in 9th after his pit stop.
Yes, indeed. So D-Biggs, just going back to D-Biggs, where is he currently? 2nd in the championship?
No, he's 4th in the championship.
4th in the championship.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's had a very solid season.
Great
As you
season.
say, only had one race win. Which
Great
is interesting.
I'll go through I'll go through his results for D-Biggs. It's been a fantastic year for him. So he's had 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 2nd, 6th, 3rd, 2nd, 4th, 3rd, 1st, 3rd, 2nd, 5th. Didn't race at Le Mans because he was at Silverstone that week. Then he's had a 7th, a 5th and a 9th. So arguably, since having that week's break for going to watch the F1, he's came back and not been on the podium.
There you go. Dan. Yeah, he's going to give it you back, Liam.
Yeah, so Little Each into the pits at the end of lap 11, and Dan there just tapping the back of Liam, just braking too late. Andy then will gain 2nd place.
And he can see Mazda in front of him. Mazda has not stopped yet.
No, Mazda's still got to stop as well. So that's that one done. Now, question. I said he'd come out by Little Leach and on Autodubs. And Autodubs has passed, that Bozzy boy. There are these two. I reckon Little Leach is going to be on the back of Liam here. No, not as close. Yeah, not right.
As close as we thought.
No.
No, it's hard to judge on this one. I think, again, it's pit stops. And just going back to the glitch thing, Daniel Francis saying that maybe we should tell everyone. Maybe those who know should pass it on. Maybe that's the way to do it. I mean, I passed it on to my teammate, I don't know how many times it's worked for him. It's worked for me, it's probably worked for me beautifully about 3 times this season. So it doesn't work all the time. You have to get it exactly right. But yeah, maybe people should just pass it on.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we should do.
Jamie in capital letters. Dan, he's saying in the chat. Dan, that'll be for hitting Liam. And Liam, again, just breathe, keep calm. You've got time to Peaceful, just head down. Oh, Mazda a bit wide there, and this the battle then for the race lead. But Mazda probably won't fight this one too hard. He knows he's got to pit himself. Mazda here could come out around Little Leach as well. Just behind Disco and Phil, maybe. It's not a bad night for Liam. Not bad for Mazda, on his return.
Yeah, absolutely. He's still got it. He's still got it. But I've said before, if you can drive, you can drive.
Yeah. Yeah, no, of course, it doesn't matter how long you're away. You may not be up to pace as the quick lads, but you're consistent.
No, may take you a minute or two, but you can drive. You can drive.
Yeah, he leaves Andy just a car's width of room there. Monkey Boy, don't forget, still has to pit, as he pitted before the pit window. So does Mazda, and that is it for everybody to pit. Just Mazda and Monkey Boy. There is Monkey Boy up front, who has pitted twice already at the start of this race. Not sure what for, but has to pit again to comply with the rules. Liam then is still on the back of Dan, but Andy's going to have a look at Mazda, and it'd be good to get Mazda back for Monza as well. If there's obviously he's in for this, he's registered for season 3, so it'd be good to get Mazda in for Monza to end the finale and maybe get a bit of a full grid, seeing as we lost Emo Guy and Keegs as well to help Disco out in that one. It'd be nice to see Mazda back on the grid as well for that.
Yes, indeed. Easy pass there for Andy. I think Mazda just opened the door and said, come on through. Andy gave him a flash of lights as he went through. And Mazda knows he isn't. He's not racing Andy. He's not racing him, not really. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So Liam's catching back up to Dan.
Yeah.
I wonder if Dan took some damage when he
possibly a bit of front
tried
aero
to get in the back of the Audi.
Because it looks like Liam's gained all that time down the start straight, so I wonder if a bit of front aero damage for Dan, and that's just affecting him in a straight line as Disco's trying to catch Little Each, who's trying to gain on the back of Peaceful.
Peaceful, who's trying to get away from the pair of them.
Yeah, trying to gain on Liam for that possible final podium spot. These three squabbling will do Liam some good, but Liam squabbling with Dan will do him no good. Now, Liam here. Now let's see the difference in the speed. Has Dan lost some aero speed in terms of that bit of front end damage? Yeah, look, he's staying to the left. He's staying to the left to defend, looks like Dan is, and Liam gaining on him just a little bit.
If Dan's backed off this a bit, then I don't know if he's got the front doesn't look completely smashed up on Dan's car, but it does look a little bit damaged. Did he take damage, or is he just going slow and giving Liam a chance to have a pop at the title, as it were?
Yeah, sort of. Kind of like Dan be his rear gunner, so Liam's guaranteed a podium, if you will. I mean, and fair play to Dan. I think Liam will. Oh, Dan.
Oh, Dan gets very wide there. Where's he going?
Very uncharacteristic there from Dan. But if Dan is letting Liam through, what a nice gesture that one is. The pit glitch is like a big secret. Don't think many people will say, since it's a thing you can gain you a massive advantage as Fury. Then as Mazda comes into the pits at the end of lap 13, you do have to do it right.
You do have to do it right, and it doesn't always work right. So there's once you know how to do it, it doesn't always happen for you. Do you know what I mean? But so it's also getting it right is the important thing. Dan pulls across right over to the right hand side there. Is Dan going to give this one to Liam, or is he, as I said, is he going to not give it to him, but not make it too hard for him either?
Yeah, I just wonder if Dan is just sort of toying with Liam in terms of, is he going to give it to him, or is he just struggling? Disco up the inside of Little Eats. This time they don't make contact. Mazda's come out just behind Phil in P8 then, but ahead of D Biggs. D Biggs has had nothing since his pit stop. No, he's struggled. He was leading this race for quite a while, and just struggled terribly around this track. And it's funny, isn't it? As I said, the car doesn't really matter. We know this man, Daddy Leach, is more than capable of a higher result than this. We know D Biggs is as well, and they just haven't been able to get to grips with this track tonight, have they? You know, and Dan's been fine. I had pace last night. Nicky had pace last night in the Porsche. It's a weird one. Andy's had pace tonight. Peaceful and Disco have had decent runs tonight, and this man's had good pace tonight. Bar race 1 with getting caught up in a few incidents, this man's had pace tonight, so it is a bit of a strange one to see. And I'm not saying that Liam's a bad driver, but it's very strange to see D Biggs and Little Each struggle compared to Liam, with no disrespect to Liam at all. But we're used to seeing them two well in front of Liam in the racing, you know. The last time we seen D Biggs struggle, and is Disco there? Just a bit of a nudge up the rear, a peaceful explosion. So much speed through the corner that he just tapped the rear. He stays behind him then and didn't nudge him wide, as Little Each with a flash of the lights there then. But Dan and Liam then have started there, are going to start their final laps. These guys are coming around to start their final lap of this race as well. And Peaceful looking up the inside. Disco looking up the inside of Peaceful. And Peaceful covers that one off. Now this is allowing Liam to just stretch his legs a little bit. Oh, Little Each wide. Peaceful thought about taking the pit lane and covers Disco off.
Got to run him out to the edge of the track, and he doesn't actually. He gives him quite a lot of room.
And the Merc will have the legs down here, but look, he goes to the inside and he's going to try and break that toe. He's Fernando Alonso in it, if you will, weaving down the straight. Now, obviously, there's nothing wrong with weaving in the straight. It's moving in the braking zone that is the problem. As Fury says, if everyone's being told, just say it in the stream. about the pit glitch, just post it in the Facebook group, then everybody can see it. It's there forever then. But we are on the final lap. Andy's done a good job in this second race. Good start, got the job done early on for Andy, and he's looked back since. He has got no lights. If you're listening,
Andy, switched them off, or is he broken them?
Yeah, I don't know. If he's listening, flick them lights on.
Put your lights back on, Andy. You'll see much better. And he's either in stealth mode or let's be fair, it is basically a kit car, that Ginetta. So it's probably blown a fuse or a relay.
Well, I tell you what, it's took Andy 21 wins since his last race win, which was the very first race of the season at Spa. Here at Simplay in Season 3. Liam's still trying to attack Dan. Let's just cut back to Andy, because Andy's going to cross the line way before these guys. Says, Liam there. Andy's coming in now to the final couple of corners. This long left into this little right-hand kink that's a bit tricky. Then the final corner to go. And what a race 2 drive from Andy. Looks like he's going to take this win. Stellar job.
Got to be a contender for driver of the day. I think he's got to be mine this evening.
Get your driver of the day in the chat now while we think about it. But it is going to be Andy to win round 22 to go for a second win this season. Now, where's that Bozzy Boy and Dan just behind? Unorthodox versus Liam. Couple of corners left. Can Liam get this one done? Dan taking a bit of a wider entry into that one. He's done that all night. Can Liam? Will he lunge up the inside into the final corner? Dan's flashing. We think he's going to be the Season 3 champion.
He's going to be the champion, we think.
Now Dan looks like he's going to take that P2, and he's going to do it in style. Liam now on the podium as well. That's the biggest shout for this one. Liam on the podium, but Dan is your Season 3 champion here at Simplay Motorsport. He has done it. Disco P4 with Peaceful in 5th place. Good little fight from them two in this race. Little each down in P6 towards Phil. So he obviously had a bit of a bad end to this race. P6 for him, P7 for Phil, D-Biggs P8, not the night for D-Biggs at all. Mazda at P9, so a decent set of results for Mazda, 7th and a 9th, decent points. Sooty Apex looks like he's going to be 10th place.
Long way back. And, let me be the first to say that if Daniel is champion, which we did, big congratulations. No, he is.
I've just checked. He is.
You have checked. So obviously, I'm extremely proud because he's my son and all that. So well done to Dan. This is the jewel in the crown to win this one of all the leagues here at Simplay. So it's
Sooty's not going to be 10th.
It into the wall.
Sooty's not going to be 10th. Well, she's going to get 10th at the line.
Well, she's going to be 10th. He's going to be gifted that by Sooty smashing that up. But what a podium. What a podium. I've got to say, stellar drive from Andy. My driver of the day for sure. And Dan a champion. And Liam with his podium. That's just a brilliant
Who got
podium,
the fastest lap of the race? Andy with a 57.3. Just going to scroll through. Yeah, 57.3. So Andy taking fastest lap as well as the win. And now that the numbers have been crunched, let me just, while I get Liam in as well as Dan and Andy, and we'll get D-Biggs in as well, because I think that is the constructors done as well. So let me just add these guys in, and then I'll be able to just recalculate the points. So here we go, as we just do a quick reshuffle then.
Yep.
That is Dan. Yep, I can confirm. Dan is the champion of Simplay Motorsport's Pro Series for Season 3. Awesome. Dan has won the title before we go to Monza. 52 points up for grabs. Tell you what, the fight is on for second. Yeah. There is 4 points separating second, third and fourth. D-Biggs is up to third now. What a job done. It isn't, though. It is. Just redone the constructors as well. D-Biggs has just joined us. Just so he did the constructors there. Dan has done the double tonight. Constructors and Drivers' Championship in the bag for Shake and Bake and for Unorthodox. Awesome. What a job from him. That is the job that he would have wanted tonight. He's here now. We hope we get Andy in as well to get a word with him. We're going to start, though, with that Buzzy boy who's got his first podium in the Pro Series. What a drive, Liam. How is that?
I don't know what to say. I am absolutely buzzing, and as you probably heard from downstairs, I just screamed. Something I've been longly waiting for, and finally has come.
Awesome.
You had a great second race, mate. The pace was there. You led and had a good fight with Biggs and Andy early doors. You then had a good fight with Andy as Biggs started to pull away. Not the pit stop you'd have wanted, which allowed Andy through, and then a bit of a tussle with Dan at the end, but great pace tonight, Liam. Great pace. You've got to be happy.
Oh, yeah, like I say, I'm ecstatic with that result. I mean, it didn't help my pedals came undone when I was leading the race for a bit. But it is what it is. I'm still on the podium, so I'm happy enough.
Well done tonight, Liam. Good race.
Well done. Awesome.
Thank you.
We've got Andy. We've got Andy in as well. We'll go to Dan. I know Dan comes second, but he is the champion. Andy, great race win. It's took you 21 races since your last win, but the Ginettas had a good night tonight.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. Been on a horrible barren run of form, and I've been struggling in this Ginetta. First round at Spa, it was beautiful, but since then it's been a bit of a struggle. So really delighted to finally get that first win. I calculated it. I think it's something like 75 days since I last got a win in the league race. So yeah, pretty chuffed to finally get that one done and out of the way. But yeah, really happy to have got the win. Pace was there. The tyres were actually really good as well. They were, the Ginetta's so good on its tyres. It was it was really enjoyable. Really enjoyable race.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well done, buddy. Well done tonight. Great pace. Sorry, go on, Kelly.
I was just going to say, I've put you as my driver of the day tonight, Andy, because I think you drove stellar tonight. I'll just ask you just one more time. Not keeping the Ginetta?
No, I'll make my mind up. Even if I was ahead by some miracle was a lap ahead of everybody, I still wouldn't have done it.
Fair enough. I'll send you a big hammer. I'll send you a big hammer in the post, and you can smash it up after next week.
Yeah, and a jerry can as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Well done tonight, Andy. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. Congratulations to Dan on the... Did you get the championship, Dan? You did, didn't you?
Yeah, that's it.
Congrats to Dan on the championship as well, yeah.
Thank you.
We're going to jump to D-Biggs before Dan as well. Dom, your teammates done the drivers, but you've both done the constructors. What a hard season, but without Gary and Little each on form tonight and Gary not here, that's that one title wrapped up for you.
Yeah, massive congratulations to Dan for getting that as absolutely brilliant all season. My aim this season was to get constructors, and I've done that, so I'm happy.
We've gone through your form in this second race, and it's as if you've gone to the F1 and come back and not had the form you had before you went to the F1.
Yeah, I haven't really liked the tracks we've had since I've come back. With Dubai, I can't click with it. Laguna was okay. I can drive it, but don't like it that much. This track, I just couldn't click with it at all.
Monza?
Monza's okay, but I think everyone likes Monza, so
yeah.
no real advantage there.
Well done on the Constructors' Championship, mate, and best of luck tonight.
Great drive.
Thanks.
And we've got him in. He's not only the Season 3 Constructors' Champion with D-Biggs, he is the brand new Pro Drivers' Champion. He's the one with the target on his back next year that everybody's going to be looking at. Dan, what a season it's been.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it.
Is that the one you wanted, Dan?
Yes.
Absolutely, well done.
Commiserations to Jamie, commiserations, mate. I'm so sorry to see you get disconnected. I really wanted to battle it out, but hey,
you'll get it next year.
Championship. So
yeah.
And also, Gary, if you're watching, mate, such a shame you couldn't be here tonight. Been an awesome season. I told everyone to keep an eye on it. It's been absolutely amazing. The drivers have been amazing. You guys have been amazing. I have loved every single race. And big shout out to D-Biggs as well, my teammate. We have just smashed it this season, and we've done a strong job. Shake and bake at top. I'm so happy tonight. So happy.
You said to me at the beginning of this season, Dan, Gary's your focus. Leachy Legends are the target for the team. We're aiming for them. You've done it. Gary, two-time champion. He's not an easy guy to beat, you know as well as anybody, but you've done it. That's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, and to be fair as well, we've done it in the same equipment as well. Same car, same circuit, same situations. And I do have to take my hat off to Gary. He is one of the best drivers I raced against. And we've had our fights at Silverstone. It's been clean, it's been fair, and I'm honoured to have fought him this season and take the title away. So we did say we were coming for it. I had the pace in other seasons to prove it, and now it's all come together this season.
Dan,
go on, Kelly.
We've been together to see you win quite a few championships over the years. Most of them been on little small bikes. Does this feel as good as those did?
I don't know, actually. I think personally, one that will stick to mind will be the BMX races, because it's a physical thing. This is a little bit different. BMX racing is you really do have to train hard for that. But in case of this, I've beaten some of the top sim racers in this league. And not many people can say that. And
no,
I've
absolutely.
And I've proven I've got my elbows out this season, and I've done it. And I'm not the nice guy I was the seasons before. I fought this season, and thank you to everyone for being fair.
Well, and to be fair, Dan, you're still one of the most fairest drivers, in my opinion. And I just want to say that I'm proud of you again. I've said that many times over the years, but proud of you again. Cracking season, and as I say, very proud of your performance.
Thank you, Dad. Means a lot.
Based on this second race tonight, though, Dan, it wasn't all your own way from the back of the grid. You seemed to struggle to get through the pack, and then have a cracking little scrap with Bozzy at the end.
Yeah, Liam was making me a little bit nervous at times. He was making some daring moves, but I was just hoping and praying that he would keep it clean. And I'll tell you what, mate, if I didn't have the damage at the end, I probably would have pulled away.
Yeah.
But I was glad to have that damage so me and Liam can have that fight. And he proved that he deserved the podium tonight. So, massive respect to Liam at the end there. That was a well-driven drive, mate. Congratulations, bud. Yeah, first start of the race, I hit Monkey Boy, they got all tangled up, and I had major damage at the front. Also realised that I was in the wrong engine mode as well, so I was actually a lot slower than normal. Pitted early, got rid of the damage, and then was just flat scat to the front as quickly as I could. Caught up to Liam, gave him a little tap on the rear by accident, let him go. And then because of that tap, I had the damage on the front, and I couldn't get past him until we properly fought. But Liam, super job tonight, mate. Congratulations on the podium, and hope you get more next season.
Well, for the final time tonight, Kelly, any final words?
I think Dubai's been a good round, to be fair, both Pro-Am and Pro. I personally had a cracking good night last night. We had some good racing in the Pro-Am last night, some good clean racing within track limits, and I think the pros have given us a good spectacle this evening. I think Dubai was very much a level playing field for a lot of the people. So we've seen some really good performances, and I'd gladly see it back on the calendar again. Although I'm sure there'd be a lot of people booing at me, certainly a lot of the drivers booing at me for that statement, but I think it's been a firm favourite for me anyway, and I think we should see it again.
Indeed. Well, we'll see what the calendar brings for Season 4, which will be up and announced within the next couple of weeks. Congratulations to Andy tonight on his driver of the day and his podium finishes. Congratulations to Jamie and Liam on their podiums as well. Massive shout out to D Biggs. Not the night for him, but the Constructors' Champion nonetheless. Yep. But we have to give the biggest shout out of all to Autodrome 16, who is your Season 3 Pro Champion. He's the one who they're going to be looking at next season, and I tell you what, I cannot wait already. I know we've still got Monza to go, but with the titles wrapped up, I cannot wait for next season already. We'll be live tomorrow night with the GTs around Watkins Glen. We'll be live at 8 PM BST. Join in for that one, and we'll be live next week, Wednesday and Thursday, finale at Monza. Nothing to play for in both titles apart from pride and the final few places elsewhere on the tables. Join us live Wednesday for 8 PM BST and 9 PM 8 PM BST on the Thursday night for the Pro. But for the final time tonight, congratulations on Autodubs on the Pro Championship. We'll see you next week. Good night.
Good night, guys. Thank you.